After almost 400 days of thrills and spills, the longest football season on record here in Singapore, it all culminates in this grand finale. This is the Singapore Cup final, and it sees BG Tampines Rovers versus Lion City Sailors at Jalan Besar Stadium. These are the two best teams in Singapore football. They finished first and second in the Singapore Premier League, and their road to the final, well, we saw a rip-roaring affair at Jalan Besar Stadium. In that second leg, it was 1-1 in the first leg, and then BG Tampines Rovers winning 3-2 in extra time to win 4-3 on aggregate. In the other semi, a 3-2 lead Lion City Sailors took in the first leg. The second leg ended 2-0 in their favour, and that's how we have these two teams in action. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Don't worry about any other final happening tonight. This is the one that you need to be watching. Lion City Sailors up against BG Tampines Rovers. We'll be here with you throughout the evening. With me here, Rish, Rush and Rai. As we look ahead to this, Roshan, I can't wait. Exhilarating match in store for us.
Yeah, I can't wait as well. I mean, I'm always looking forward to games involving these two sides, you know, and this is two teams with lots in the way of quality, and the two coaches who are very good as well in terms of getting the best out of their players. And we've been entertained in the games between them this season, so this should be another great final.
Some sense of justice that we're seeing the best two teams, I suppose, in Singapore contesting the cup final.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a credit to them for the work that they've done to put themselves into this position, to get to this stage. It hasn't been easy. They've had to fight, they've had to work hard, and they've been very impressive throughout, and they both deserve to be here.
Talking of deserving to be here, we were so impressed. We worked on that semi-final between BG Tampines Rovers and BG Pathum United. What a game we had. What a joy to be commentating on that. It was such great fun, generally, over the 90, and then became more than that, almost 2 hours, more than 2 hours we had. Yeah,
it was really enjoyable game of football. You know, I think BG Tampines deserved to eventually go on and win this because they control large parts of this match. I thought they were very impressive. Tactically, they changed things around in terms of their approach. There was a bit more of a theme of, you know, perhaps allowing BG Pathum United to have a bit more in terms of possession. Played a little bit more of a direct route with their style at times, but they were in control for large parts of this match, and they actually could have scored more than the two that they did in the 90 minutes, and they could have been done and dusted. But it just gave BG Pathum the opportunity to get themselves back into it. And then, of course, there was this moment of drama right at the end. Kunori with a brilliant effort. And that stroke of luck that they needed with the deflection, you know, on the drop ball. If that had gone in straight off Kunori, it wouldn't have counted. It needed a touch from someone else, and that touch came via deflection from Sarat Yuyan. And I think they deserve that little bit of good fortune, BG Tampines, because they were so good in the second leg of that semi-final. Really impressive, and it was good to see them, you know, finally get a big result across the line in that sense, and put themselves in a position here where they get to play for the Singapore Cup.
You're talking about getting the result to get over that line. That's something that they kind of fallen a little bit short on. BG Tampines Rovers, they last won the trophy, a big trophy in 2019.
Yeah.
We're going to mention that later on as well. But this is against a club that has kind of been their bane in recent years, that's maybe stood in their way a little. They've not quite got there, Roshan. This is just one match, though. It comes down to just today.
It does. And I feel like when you look at, you know, the Singapore Premier League, I mean, you look at the teams who have given the Lion City Sailors problems this campaign. BG Tampines are right up there. Geylang would be the other one. You know, with the style of play, they've caused issues for the Lion City Sailors. You think back to that huge 5-0 win earlier in the season in the SPL. And that was so impressive from BG Tampines. But even in the games, when in terms of the head-to-heads, you know, they put in some decent performances. They put in some really good performances, actually. Forget about decent. And they probably should have, you know, won a lot more. And I think that's been the issue for BG Tampines, is the fact that, you know, they have been good in their style of play. They've been very impressive. I've enjoyed watching them a lot. But we saw it with the match against BG Pathum United. Sometimes they're prone to these little lapses in concentration. Defensively, they can have a few issues. And then in an attacking sense, they create loads of chances, but they don't always take them. They don't always kill off teams. And that could be an issue for them in this final. They have to make absolutely sure that they are mature in their performance here tonight as well. And when they do get those chances, try and kill it off. Try and kill off the Lion City Sailors, because they've got a big, big threat, especially in the transition. And that's something BG Tampines will have to be wary of.
16 shots to 9 in that one for BG Tampines Rovers against BG Pathum United. Let's have a look at the lineup then for BG Tampines Rovers. And perhaps no surprise then, Roshan, that Gavin Lee has opted for the same 11. They kind of pick themselves, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think this is pretty much as strong as it gets. Perhaps you could say Faris Ramli in place of Joel Chu would be another option for them down that left-hand side. But what Joel Chu coming in gives them is more control in central positions. And Joel Chu is very good in between the lines. I think they're expecting the Lion City Sailors to sit a little bit deeper against them in that 5-4-1. So Joel Chu in those positions in between the lines to try and link up for BG Tampines in those areas. So they have a lot of quality in possession. They look to have numbers in central positions as well. Zlatkovic is very comfortable drifting in field if he needs to into a midfield area. But he can also get forward down that left-hand side. So they've got a lot of quality in this side. I expect that they'll want to try and control things in this game as they normally do. Having said that, we saw them actually give control away to BG Pathum United in that sense, control of the ball, but they control spaces very well. So I wonder if they'll try and do that again. But every time I've seen them come up against the Lion City Sailors, they've looked to try and dominate.
Right.
The only time I was really disappointed in their performance against LCS was in that 1-0 defeat at Bishan.
Yeah.
And that was the game that essentially gave...
That was a hammer blow for them, that one.
Hammer blow, late Lionel Tan goal, if you remember that. And the reason why I say I was disappointed in them is because they didn't look like a BG Tampines side. They looked a bit scared. They looked a little bit fearful.
Yeah.
So I hope tonight they actually go out there and show what they're all about. Don't be afraid to play. Don't be afraid to show that you are BG Tampines and that you're a good side, and play with a little bit of joy. That can sometimes be difficult in a high-pressure moment, in a high-pressure match. So they've got to try and find a way to be themselves. And if they are themselves, then I feel they'll cause the Sailors problems.
You mentioned the quality that they have, particularly going forward, creating those opportunities. Sei Konori immediately comes to mind, right? There's lots of talk about him probably leaving the club at the end of the season. But what he did in that semi-final second leg kind of sums up the season he's had and the time he's had in Singapore.
I think he's been incredible. He's been a wonderful player to watch in the time that he's been here. You're quite right. You know, the goals that he scores, but also his overall contribution is so impressive, you know, for BG Tampines, and it was for Albrechts as well. He works really hard. He's, I would class him as one of those complete forwards. He's very comfortable. If you ask him to lead the line, he can do that as well. But the way he just drifts in attacking areas, they play with a lot of freedom in attack. There's a lot of positional rotations for BG Tampines, and he's one of those players who's so intelligent in his movement. He identifies areas of the pitch where he can really look to try and hurt the opposition, and he could look to do that on the Sailors' left-hand side, for example, when the left wing-back, if Costa is bursting forward, leaving that little bit of a gap that Darkovic has to come and cover across, and Konori could exploit opportunities in those areas. We saw him do that against BG Pathum United. He's just lethal, whether it's in the area or outside the box. We know he's got wonderful technique as well.
That goal he scored, the first one.
Scores great goals, great chances as well for his side. So he's a big player for this side.
We mentioned a little earlier, 2019, the last time that BG Tampines Rovers won a trophy, that was in the Singapore Cup. It's a long time for a club of their tradition, of their stature in the Singapore context, isn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, it is. Absolutely is. I mean, they came close, you know, a couple of seasons ago, and they were in that final, if you remember, against Hougang, and they were undone by Christian Krajcek, essentially, scoring a brilliant hat-trick. They came close last season as well, a semi-final defeat to the Lion City Sailors. But they look back at this, 2019, this was just about when
Gavin was just coming into
Gavin was sort of just coming through into that role of a head coach. He wasn't officially the head coach, you know, but he was taking a lot of sessions, just paperwork-wise. He couldn't be listed officially as the head coach. And so, you know, it's a credit to him for the work that he's done over the years that he's been there. He's a fantastic local coach. I've got a lot of time for him because I think the way he sets his sides up are very impressive. You know, they play an attractive style of football. And he's been so efficient, has been so effective. The way they've had to go about things, you know, to challenge the Lion City Sailors with a much smaller budget, it's been very impressive from him and everyone at the club.
Let's turn our attentions to the opposition tonight. Lion City Sailors. What a season they have had. They've already won the Singapore Premier League. They got to the final of ACL 2. Roshan, it's just that little bit more now. Just another trophy for them. But already an outstanding campaign, right?
I think it's already been a very good season for the Lion City Sailors. But with them, because of the budgets, because of that expectation, I think we always want to see more. And I think they need to get this across the line. And I think they will admit it as well. I don't think it'll be good enough for them to just finish the campaign with only a league title, considering how well they've done. And I feel like as a society, we should probably be a little bit more relaxed, or a little bit more, we should have a bit more praise for teams that get into finals. Instead
you've already done the hard. That's hard work.
That's hard to get there. And the teams that fail to get there don't get criticism.
Right.
Whereas if you lose a final, people say nobody remembers losers. So for the Sailors, I think just because of the budget, the expectation that we have from them, they will see that they have to get this across the line and win it to at least show that they're the dominant side in Singapore football.
They had a very contrasting semi-final second leg against Brunei DPMM. Pretty comfortable, 2-0. It's come off the back of the disappointment, I guess you could call it, of ACL2. They had to pick themselves up again, though, didn't they?
They did. I was speaking to a couple of players after that AFC Champions League 2 final, and the disappointment was real because they felt they were so close to winning that, and that would have been absolutely massive for them as a club, and also for Singapore football. But it shows a lot of growth, that they are moving in the right direction. They're making an impact not just on the domestic front, but on the continental stage as well. And I think it was pretty comfortable for them here in this match against DPMM. If you think back to the first leg, they completely dominated, and they had so many chances, so many opportunities to really make it a lot more comfortable than it was in the end. But they went into the second leg with that 1-goal lead, and they controlled proceedings against DPMM in the second leg as well. And they too deserve it. I mean, they've been so impressive and so consistent. I think that's the thing with the Lion City Sailors this season. The consistency that they've shown throughout the SPL campaign, throughout the Continental campaign, and then now in the Singapore Cup as well.
Not sure if you guys heard what we just heard, a crack of lightning. We'll keep abreast of that situation. Let's have a look at the lineups anyway for now for Lion City Sailors. And again, no surprises here that Rankovic has opted to go with the same side that started that second leg semi-final. I think the one that probably comes to mind here, Roshan, if we look at it, is the goalkeeper, Zarfan Rohaizad. He doesn't get many minutes elsewhere, but he has been consistent in the Cup.
Well, he was first choice at the start of the season. He played a few matches, and then he was replaced by Izwan Mabur. And the Singapore Cup has been his competition. And it's good to see, from a coach's perspective, putting that trust in Zarfan. And he's had some difficult spells. He's had some difficult matches. He will need to be on point tonight against BG Tampines, because I feel he will be tested. Otherwise, it's an incredibly strong side. It's a team with plenty of experience. We know of the likes of Maxime Lestienne, who will look to try and have a big part to play in this match. He'll try and control things for the Sailors, but they've also got Ramzala in those attacking positions to do all sorts of damage. Nice to see Shawal Anwar getting a start. He's been very impressive. And also Hami Shaheen, who I think has been one of the players in this Lion City Sailor side who perhaps hasn't gotten enough credit. I think he's starting to now, because he's had to play in a different role, a different position for the Sailors, and he's been so impressive for them. A right wing back, dropping into central midfield. He works so hard. Technically, he's a very, very good footballer. Intelligent as well in terms of knowing when he needs to be shifting in, when he needs to be pushing out. It could defensively be a potential area that BG Tampines might look to try and exploit, because he's not a natural defender, but he works incredibly hard in those positions and he gets himself there. So they will need to find a way to get him some help as well on that side.
I did mention earlier that this was a record-long season for any campaign that we've had in Singapore football. But the last time, you can cast your mind back to 2023, when Lion City Sailors last won this tournament, when we had it, the Singapore Cup 2023. They beat Hougang United in the final. Roshan, they've got to kind of hark back. That was Rankovic's first title with LCS. They've got to kind of call upon that now. As you said, they really have to get this over the line, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. When you think back to this season, they weren't great in the league, and I think they were very fired up. They were very determined to make sure that they weren't disappointing in the Singapore Cup. They felt that they owed their fans something. They felt that they owed the club something. They owed them some silverware. So this was almost a chance for them to rescue their season, in a sense. The context was very different. They had that little bit of pressure of making sure that they, again, tried to pick up some silverware, but they were so strong in that season, Singapore Cup. And, this time around, the context is a little bit different. They've had a good season. They've won the SPL, make it into the final of the AFC Champions League too. But I think to have that sweet ending of picking up, league and cup title, a domestic double, will be huge for the club.
Lots to look forward to here. We are still, as of now, kicking off as scheduled. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to hear from the head coaches. The fans are filling up Jalan Besar Stadium. They cannot wait. The Singapore Cup is almost upon us. Right, we have got an update for you here at Jalan Besar Stadium. You may have heard the lightning. It is not quite raining here at Jalan Besar, but we are being told that the lightning weather system is on, which does mean that we are going to be starting a little later than scheduled. It's going to be at 6:15 as of now. That's the latest we got. Of course, we have to just play this out a little bit. As you know, well, in this part of the world, it is quite common. For now, we're going to carry on with our preview here of the final. Let's hear from the head coaches. These are their pre-final thoughts.
We expect a very exciting game, as always, against Sailors, and may the best team win. And tonight is no difference. The approach is no difference. It's about us going out there, stay calm, stay strong with our brain, and play the football that we know how to play.
You've always emphasized calm. So what's the rationale behind it, and what more can you do tonight if you want to, notch the win, get the Singapore Cup?
Again, calmness comes. The calmness that we are referring to is the brain state, because when we are calm, then we are more likely to perform the unconsciously at a very good level. If we are stressed, then we probably hold ourselves back a little bit, and maybe we start to do otherwise. And so, like always, stay calm, trust the process, trust our training, and just get cracking on.
And in a game that might come down to who wants it more, who's hungrier?
I don't believe that statement, really. Teams that come to the final, everybody wants it. Teams that arrive to semi-finals, everybody wants it. If it's a question of desire, then we don't deserve to be here.
And it's been a long season, and all season long you've made it clear that you are proud of the team. As a coach, how do you keep them going and staying motivated despite all that you've accomplished?
Yeah, first of all, it's not one-man job. I mean, I have a lot of staff, fortunate enough to have a very good staff members that are doing that. But also, very lucky to have mature group of players who don't need a lot of motivation from the side. I mean, the game themselves are motivated, and like I said, what we achieved this season, I think, showed a lot of mentality and character of this team.
And tonight you've got a cup title to defend. What kind of football are you bringing to the table?
Same like always. I mean, we know it's a very good team we play against. It's not the first time we play them, so I think it's going to be a very competitive game, and it comes to the end who wants it more.
And speaking about your squad selection tonight, is it easy, to make your team selection, seeing the quality that you have all around?
It's never easy. I mean, for me it's easier to make a selection in Champions League games because I can use all the players, and in our SPL competition I cannot use some of the foreigners, so that's not easy to leave some of them out, especially for the final. But yeah, it is what it is. So I made a selection that I think it fit this game.
So there we go, the crowds, they must be aware, of course, that things are going to be slightly delayed. Not going to dampen their spirits, of course. They are here, they can't wait. A massive match coming up, that Singapore Cup final. Roshan, who wants it more, who doesn't want it more? Nice to see contrasting statements there from the coaches.
I don't know if it's about who wants it more. I don't believe it will come down to that. I think as Gavin Lee said, if you're in the final, then obviously you want it, right? And yeah. I think as a professional player, you have to want it. You have to be motivated for a big match like this. So maybe what Rankovic was trying to say is that who wants it more? It comes down to the work rate. It comes down to how much you want to fight, how much you're willing to struggle when things get difficult, when the lungs are burning, when you feel like you've got nothing left in the legs, how much you really want to push for it in that sense. How much do you have to give? Yeah. And you would hope that from both sides they will have absolutely everything, and they'll be looking to try and give absolutely everything tonight. Sure. Holidays after this, go and take a nice break. Sure. It's been a long campaign, but for this evening, you have to give everything that you've absolutely got, and I hope that we will see that from the players.
The motivation, I guess, for BG Tampines Rovers is the fact they've fallen just short in the league campaign. When we look at the head-to-head between these two, there wasn't much to separate within this particular season. But when they last played each other in the Cup, yeah, it was in the semi-finals, and they lost, 6-3 on aggregate. So maybe, little bits here, there. They've got to look at these things to call upon. Like you said, there should be no extra motivation. This is a Cup final. Yeah,
and I mean, while we are looking back at this, you'll see from here as well, we've got players from the past, like Živković, players who, Lopez, I think it was his name, from this. There you go, Lopez. See, I'm forgetting now because
they're gone, they're done.
We've moved on. So yes, you look at these and you think, okay, there are certain areas where they could have done better. I would almost say, when you think about this, when you look at this, BG Tampines are almost the same side as they were in this season's competition. So for them, what they've actually done is they've grown together as a squad over the last few years. They've been able to keep players together for the most part. The foreign signings have been there. Whereas for Jalan Besar Stadium, we've seen changes. Živković not in the picture anymore. Lopez not there as well. Yeah. So, for them, there have been a few changes. But for BG Tampines, they've grown together as a unit. And you would hope that they would have learned from these situations, learned from these moments. And now they'll bring that experience along with them into this final, as if to say, this is the maturity that we've developed over the last few years, and let's use this along with the quality that we have to get this across the line and try and end off on a high note here.
We look back at those semi-finals, BG Tampines Rovers taking on a very strong BG Pathum United. If they can play against teams of that level, I mean, that's, someone might say, that's kind of LCS type of level. They proved they could do it. They had an extra half an hour more, but is that going against them, the tiredness, but also the fact that the way they approach that match? There's two ways to look at that, isn't it?
I don't think you're thinking about tiredness in this game. I don't think that crosses your mind as a player. If it does, then you probably should hold your hand up and say, Coach, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. I'm not feeling it. I'm tired. But I don't think that comes into it. I think the Sailors have also had a very long season, but over the last couple of weeks, they've been able to rotate, get some other players in, and try and ensure that the side is fresh for this one. But look, again, I don't think it's going to play a big role. I think BG Tampines, not just the game against BG Pathum United, but as I mentioned earlier, the matches that they played against Jalan City Sailors this season, they've shown that they can more than match them. Yeah. They've shown that they can play better than the Sailors in that sense, better football. my view of what better football is.
Yeah.
You might have a different opinion, because at the end of the day, the Sailors come away with the result. They come away with the win.
Right.
So now for BG Tampines, it's about having that style, but also having that substance and getting it across the line and winning it. So they have shown that they can match it. They have shown that they can play very well. They have shown that they can cause problems for the Lion City Sailors. And from their perspective, you hope that you see that tonight in this final.
For now, for those of you who've just joined us for the lead up to the Singapore Cup final, as of now, we're hearing that the kickoff is going to be delayed for about 15 minutes. So for now, it is 6:15 p.m. is our kickoff in this match between BG Tampines Rovers and Lion City Sailors. We're going to take a short break and we'll give you any updates as soon as we have them.
A very warm welcome to us wherever you are joining us from. BG Tampines Rovers will take on Lion City Sailors in the Singapore Cup final, live from the Jalan Besar Stadium in a few minutes' time. If you're just joining us and you're expecting the game to be on, we do apologise. The lightning warning system has been on. There was one recognised ground trauma from the lightning, and that was some 20-odd minutes ago. We haven't had any since, so we are on a 15-minute delay. BG Tampines Rovers needed extra time in that second leg to beat BG Pathum United to book their berth in the final. The Lion City Sailors cruised along the seas and defeated Brunei DPMM 2-0 to win 5-2 on aggregate. Two sides then that had group action that was exactly the same. 10 points for each of these sides, finishing top of their groups with 12 goals and 4s against, and that is what they are playing for. It's currently in the hands of the Lion City Sailors. Will it still be there in 90 minutes' time? Lion City Sailors under Gavin Lee yet to taste silverware, but if you look at their performance in the last game of the season where they took on LCS, that was a much improved performance and a real opportunity and chance here to snaffle some silverware. Sasi Kumar joins me. Sasi, can they do it? That's the big question tonight that everybody's asking.
Well, they always stand a chance, and the fact that they are in the final, it's a one-off match against the defending champions as well as the newly minted league champions. It's going to be a tough ask, I do feel. You spoke about the league game just a couple of weeks or a week ago. That was a game that was played against almost the LCS reserves, you know, and they still created so many chances. They didn't score, they didn't come off with a victory there, but I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting match, this one. You know, the atmosphere is great and really looking forward to this one.
It really is. The flags are out, the crew are down there, as are the Yellow Brigade down for Tampines on the left-hand side, and everybody in fine voice and fine fettle here. A big game expected then. Can Tampines recreate history and get themselves that victory, or will the Lion City Sailors cruise on and take second silverware this season? Of course, the disappointment of the Asian Champions League 2 is still there, but you can't say that it's disappointment when you have a side from Singapore representing the country in that competition and the final. It seems fitting then that after the longest season in the history of the Singapore Premier League, that we have the two top teams going head-to-head in the 25th edition of the Singapore Cup final. Reigning champions Lion City Sailors cruised past Brunei DPMM to book their spot in the final, whilst BG Tampines Rovers needed a late Kanori goal to book their place for the 9th time in the league final. Drama awaits then at the Jalan Besar Stadium. Who will win the 2024-25 edition of the Singapore Cup? The battle is set to commence as BG Tampines Rovers take on the Lion City Sailors, and it is going to happen right here and right now. Wave from the players. Mamitaki will take charge of this game. He did actually take charge of that 0-0 draw when these two sides faced off in the last league game as well. So the experience of him will be vital in what could be a high-pressure situation for both sides. Let's not forget that both sides were led out by their chairman. BG Tampines Rovers had Desmond Ong, and the executive director of Lion City Sailors, Bruce Liang, there, leading out the Lion City Sailors. A nice little touch that the executives as well get to enjoy what will be a scintillating atmosphere, which it is, but not only that, a scintillating game of football. Maybe a little bit of pressure there. Mohamed Taki, of course, who's officiated at the top levels throughout Asia and the world, it has to be said as well. Wani Cohen, 80-10. Fahd Mohammed will be the 4th official down on the touchline. He's normally the one that will get all the abuse from the coaches, so he's going to have to handle that very, very well. Jinsun Fu has the red button in front of him, and he will be in charge of the VAR, assisted by Abdul Hamid. Well, the two captains come together. Bailey Wright, he got a red card in his very, very first game for the Lion City Sailors. Who would have thought that he's developed and come on the way that he has, and really has led this LCS side forwards. And of course, Shazwan Buhari, the goalkeeper for BG Tampines Rovers, is the captain for them. High fives, handshakes all round. Time for a quick photo before we do get proceedings underway, but there's no changes from Gavin Lee, and that means he keeps with the starting lineup that took on the side last time out, BG Pathum United. Glenn Quay and midfield maestro Kanori bagged goals last time out, and Enomoto will want to add goals to his tally as well. In the final league game of the season, Dylan Fox and Yamashita at the back managed to stop that LCS attack. The big reigning question is can they do the same tonight as they bowed to try and lift silverware for the first time under Gavin Lee. Former assistant at the Warriors, has been in charge since 2019 now, so you've got to turn around, and the big question is can he get the job done? That is going to be the huge question. It's the 57th game of the season for the Lion City Sailors tonight after their success in the league and the Asian Champions League 2 campaign, and Alexander Rankovic makes no changes to the side that cruised past Brunei DPMM a few days ago. Shawal Anwar will continue to spearhead the attack, whilst the threats that Lestienne and Ramsalar possess will be the big key difference in tonight's game. Will that be what will see LCS go back-to-back Singapore Cup victories? Sashi Kumar, is that going to be the key factor? Is it the form of Lestienne and Ramsalar, who were outstanding in that last game against Brunei DPMM?
You were absolutely right there. You know, I think Lestienne against DPMM, almost unplayable. You know, he took DPMM apart, very lively, and you know what he's going to do, always cut in and take that shot, and they've got to be really wary of transitional play, rather, the Lion City Sailors. They always tend to sit deep, you know, suck you in and then go on the counter, and that's where their strengths lie, and Ramsalar as well on the other side, together with Diogo Costa. Don't forget Diogo Costa, you know, defensively he's good, but attackingly as well, he always is a threat going forwards, and so that's key as well. But you know, just looking at BG Tampines, they always play the same way. They always love the possession game. Nakamura, Shah in the middle of the park. And I think it's going to be a big game for Sia Konori today and Inamoto.
Quickly, a winner?
I think I'm going to sit on the fence here. It's going to be a draw at full time.
Okay, well, I'll get your thoughts at the end of the game then to see when we go through to extra time. It will go to extra time and penalties. That will be the case if we are level, according to Sashi Kumar after 19. He wasn't wrong the other night, so I'm not going to argue with him. Countdown's on, countdown's finished. Kick-off starts here with the Lion City Sailors in their white strip, kicking from right to left. Straight away, it's a long ball from Zafan, punched forwards. Loose one picked up by Rui Perez. Sergio Carmona involved and trying to make things happen as well.
It's a nervy ball at the start there from Costa.
Sorry, put me wrong player on the board there. He won man of the match last time out as well, didn't he? It was a brilliant header from him, that goal that he scored at that near post area after Ramsalar did all the work, and simple cushion header. Well, it wasn't really. I mean, he had to work hard to put it in the back of the net, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a difficult one, and he put it in just like a striker should. Excellent finish with the head as well, Diogo Costa. He's been excellent from left wing back.
Again, Lion City Sailors, you mentioned that BG Tampines Rovers won't change their style. It's exactly the same from the Lion City Sailors, that methodical build-up at the back, which is what they were looking to try and do, as Dylan Fox and Yamashita get their first touches of the ball. Be interesting to see if they deploy what they did in the league, where Zlatkovic came in as almost like a false left back to add an extra body in the middle of the park when they went forwards. Here's Nakamura. He was pulling the strings in that last league game. Yamashita, his mistake led to that goal, and they, who eventually got sent off and scored 2 goals in that semi-final, didn't clear his lines and allowed BG Pathum United to get back into the game. Here he is again. Clips one over the top, looking for the run of Glenn Quay. Just a little bit too heavy.
Yeah, it's the ball over the top. The diagonal is trying to suck the LCS players through the middle and then play that long ball over the top for Glenn Quay. And that time, just overplayed that one.
Here's Lionel Tan. Slow again from LCS. BG Tampines just sitting off, just showing that little bit of respect, but just killing holes so that Lion City Sailors find it more difficult to go through the lines. Hamid Shine, as we mentioned, really is one of Rankovic's favourite players and one of the first names on the team sheet this season. It's interesting hearing his interview before, wasn't it, about his team selection and lineup, about how he can pick anybody he wants when he's in the Asian Champions League. But here, obviously, with the restrictions and league rules, which are the same, don't get me wrong, which are the same throughout the whole of Asia. That is the point, that he does find it more difficult picking a side here than he would do for the Champions League.
And exactly, and that's why Leonard T is not in the squad at all, and he scored 3 goals in the Singapore Cup already, so it's going to be a miss. But we talk about misses, you look at the replacements that Rankovic has, so I don't think that's much of a problem, isn't it?
Well, you mentioned about their reserves playing against Tampines the last time out, BG Tampines, of course, so anything could happen. Been a methodical start from both sides, as you might expect in the cup final. Here's Ramsalar, lovely little turn from him, has time and space, finds Song. Song plays it out wide. Here is Lestien. Will he drop the shoulder and cut in? Lovely little 1-2 with Song. Lestien just couldn't sort his feet out quickly enough. And then Emoto tracking all the way back there. Did you notice all the BG Tampines players were back in a defensive formation there?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's showing that respect to, obviously, Lion City Sailors and Lestien on that far side. But that's what, just this tackle from Rui Perez, that's what he is in there for. You know, and that's what he does, break things up for the Lion City Sailors and stop the transition from BG Tampines.
Been a good player for them, and he's developed. I remember watching his first game, and it was in the ASEAN Championships, and there was a question or two asked about that initially, but he really has grown into the side, and it'll be interesting to see how the Lion City Sailors will shape up next year, of course, because they've got another campaign in Asia next year as well. Who will they retain and who will they keep? Sazwan Buhari clips that one forwards. Kanori, the man of the moment in the last game, which was here at the Jalan Besar Stadium against BG Pathum United. Trying to keep busy as well. It's a better press as well now from LCS. Sazwan Buhari happy to try and play out from the back. Dylan Fox, nice ball to Enomoto. Closely marked though by Datkovic, who went all the way, didn't hold back at all. Great ball fizzed out there from Bailey Wright. Lovely first time ball down the line as well from Costa. Ramsalar drops the shoulder. Good defending in the end. Irfan Najib puts the block in and finds Kanori. Good defending from Datkovic, who got his body in the way. Now it's BG Tampines' turn to try and press higher up the field of play. Zarfan not wanting to make a mistake with that. So it was a measured clearance. Here is Joel Chu, tried to find Glenn Quay, just a little bit too heavy. The ball goes behind.
Yeah, I think he wasn't sure whether it was for Konori or Glenn Quay there. And obviously, Konori was coming back from an offside position. And in the end, ball goes out of play. It's just that battle between Konori just before that, moments before that. Just clear offside for Konori, but just moments before that, a very good battle between Konori and Datkovic.
Randy Wright. Oh, it's an awful ball from him. Finds Joel Chu, who runs at the heart of the LCS defence. Sliding challenge coming in from Song Young, but easy pickings in the end for Zafan, who finds Ramsalar quickly, who was put under pressure. But again, LCS just happy to keep that ball moving.
Yeah.
Here's the challenge.
It's a sloppy ball there by Bailey Wright, the skipper. But great comeback or tracking back by Song Oyo.
Bit of time and space now for Costa. Costa, nice little ball flicked in. Shawalamwa with the layoff, but was closely marked there by Dylan Fox, not giving him any time or space. And a little tug of the arm there on Joel Chu means that the Stags win themselves a free kick.
Yeah, Ami Shaheen that knew exactly what he was doing. Didn't want Joel Chu to just beat him easily. There you go. That's good turn by Joel Chu. Always good on the ball, technically brilliant.
We do have Tessa down on the touchline, and she's reporting that Rankovic is wanting his players to play a little bit faster and a little bit quicker. It is a little bit slow and methodical at the moment.
Yeah, just to increase the intensity at the moment.
Here is Lestien. If anyone can do it, he can. Driving forwards. Lestien runs across the whole width of the pitch and finds Costa. Ramsalar from right. Ramsalar, I tell you what, he's hit that well, but it just wouldn't dip. Flew true off the foot, but just wouldn't come down towards the end.
Ramsalar hitting it really cleanly here. Just went through the ball. I don't think Shazwan would have gotten there if it just dipped under the bar. Good effort.
It was an unusual plane, that one, wasn't it? The actual plane of the ball, the flight of the ball. No dip, no swaz, no curl on it. That's how true he hit it. Irfan Najib keeps things simple. Yamashita happy to go all the way back to Shazwan Buhari. Here is Dylan Fox. Spoke to Dylan yesterday. Really looking forward to this game and said that they want to go one better than what they did in that last league game. They were turning around and looking to win this and win silverware as well. Here's Nakamura. Haven't really seen too much of him in the game so far. That's why he's dropping a little bit deeper to get on the ball. Joel Chu having to drop deep as well, allowing Zlatkovic the left-hand side. Here's Dylan Fox. Zlatkovic into Konori. Zlatkovic on the overlap. Can he deliver? Cuts inside with the right foot, goes for goal. Deflected behind, corner, BG Tampines Rovers.
And nicely done on that left flank for BG Tampines, creating a 2v1 there against Hami Shaheen. Yusei Konori just playing the ball, a reverse ball for Zlatkovic, who cuts inside. And I think entitled to go for a shot, deflected out.
On his right foot?
Oh, why not?
Well, can they make anything happen from here? Taken short and quickly. Nakamura could have changed the angle. As it is, it's hoofed in, looking for Dylan Fox at the far post, who cleared away though by Bailey Wright. Ramsalar just helps it in behind as well, and it's a nice little touch from Shah. Conceded possession quickly and straight away though, and a big ping from Costa. finds Lestien, takes it with the outside of the foot. Lestien. Well, we saw that, didn't we, Sassi? Because we did the second leg of the Brunei game. 3-4 different occasions. Lestien dropped the shoulder onto that left foot and was looking for that far corner.
Well, that was exactly the situation that BG Tampines do not want. Shah Shahiran giving the ball away cheaply, and then that first ball out for Lestien. And once you get in that 1v1 situation, he's always going to cut inside and go for the shot. In the end, it was straight at the goalkeeper.
Amazing stats, really, for Lestien. 22 assists in the league campaign this season. 21 last year, 23 the year before. League's top scorer with 25 last year. And unbelievable when you consider that you can entice a player who is, of course, a Belgian international to this country to play and perform at these levels. Nice ball tucked into the channel. Enomoto making the run. Bailey Wright not wanting to give him much time at all, and solid, good defending from him. However, Enomoto tried to play it off Bailey Wright, but a little bit too experienced, and that's a good ball there. That's very, very well played as the Lion City Sailors get themselves out of trouble. Here's Diogo Costa, has time and space. Ramsalar in support. Song coming to join the action as well. Here he is. Pami. Lestien fronted up by Nakamura. Lestien goes past him. Lestien. Solid and good defending from Zlatkovic, who couldn't go to ground, couldn't dive in, but just got that big toe there. Sacrifices a corner, but Lestien on the burst.
Well, it's twice already in a couple of minutes that Nakamura has got to go 1v1 with Lestien. You don't want Nakamura to be in that position. And, you know, it's a problem area at the moment for BG Tampines. Zlatkovic does well there.
You're right, that's something that will need to be addressed sooner rather than later. Lestien delivers. Bahari, rather than catching it, fists it away. It's another corner. Pressure mounting here for the Stags.
Yeah, the skipper needed to get that, and he does. Only just that, just punching it out for a corner. And good pressure from the Sailors.
Let's see if they've got the same sort of quality from this side. Song is the man that's come over to take this. There's the melee in the middle. Luke Costa, Dankovic, Bailey Wright, all in there. Fired into that near post area. Enomoto with a header away. The Ramsalar first on the ball. Hilmi out to Lestien. Glenn Quaid, the first one to go and front up. Lestien on that occasion. BG Tampines trying to keep their shape here. Diogo Costa. Lionel. Ramsalar trying to drop into a hole to get on the ball, but it's not coming this side as Song makes a run in beyond the strikers, and this time Zlatkovic back there to poke it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, with Shah Shahiran just behind him on the cover as well. And, very good passage of play here for the Lion City Sailors, just putting on a little bit of pressure. They played almost 16 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, happy to keep the ball, keep it moving, looking for holes and probing for areas that they can exploit. This time it's a long throw. Lionel Tam with the ball in, Bailey Wright, but it's well won by Dylan Fox, who wins that header. Enomoto looking to try and charge and close down, but Dankovic comfortably gets there first.
You can just see Rankovic on the touchline there. He's just wanting it to be played a little bit quicker. Just the decision making is a little bit slow in terms of going forwards.
It's been like that. We've done a couple of their games late on in the season, Sashi, and the tempo has dropped. I mean, let's not forget it's not the Asian Champions League 2 where players are really, really up for the game, but it's just that slight intensity. As Song, Dylan Fox with a brilliant block. Lestien, goal bound. The question is would that have been offside? Because Shawal Anwar was coming back from an offside position, maybe just in the eye line there of Shazwan.
Yeah, maybe, but doesn't matter because Shazwan just got hold of it. But this was good play from Lion City Sailors. Just got the ball in for Song. Good block actually from Fox. And again, things happening on that far side with Lestien posing a problem, and just Nakamura and Shah being dragged out of the central positions.
Shouldn't that be Joel Chu dropping back in there to assist and help his fullback? Not as inverted as we've seen him before. Lovely piece of skill from Diogo Costa. Tried to play it into the feet of Ramsalah. Well picked up by Shah Shahin. Concedes possession again. Good feet from Rui Perez to win it back.
Yeah, at the moment,
Sailors ball again.
Yeah, at the moment, no way out for BG Tampines. They seem to having problems just finding their top man, Inamoto, or even Sia Konori, whenever they win possession.
You know what they say, Sashi, you can have all the ball in the world, but if you don't put the ball in the back of the net. Now hark back to that UEFA Cup game where Tottenham Hotspur had only 17% in the second half, 27% of the match, and they won 1-0. Lestien goes for goal again, looking for that far top corner, can't find it. It's not all about possession, is it, Sashi? It's what you do and how you convert that possession when you enter that final third.
Exactly, and then creating that chance to actually score a goal, that final ball, the decision making in the final third, the attacking third, and that was Lestien. This time way off target there.
I remember you saying the same thing the last time they played against Brunei DPMM. Inamoto just tried to catch out Bailey Wright there by ducking under the ball, but Glenn Quay wasn't going to get there, and Bailey Wright isn't going to be out Fox like that. Dakovic. Gauro Costa not happy. He was the youngest player on the pitch in the last game. 21-year-old fullback. Would it surprise you again that he's the youngest player on the pitch again tonight? But we do have somebody younger on the bench. Keegan Pang is on the bench for BG Tampines Rovers, who's only 19 years old, so he's not going to be the youngest player tonight as Rui Perez puts paid to that attack from BG Tampines Rovers.
Again, great work from Rui Perez, the number 8. Very underrated, I feel, in the middle of the park, just breaking things up. Nowhere for the ball to be played forward for BG Tampines again.
It's very difficult, isn't it, when you play a 3-4-3 system? Those two in the middle of the park have to be completely spot on, because you've got the creativity going forwards with Ramsalah, Shawal Anwar and Lestien, and you've got the solidity at the back with Dakovic and Bailey Wright, so they're pivotal to this system.
Very much so, and again, it's seldom you see teams playing with just two in the middle of the park nowadays. Usually you go with 4-2-3-1 and with the attacking player coming down to help out, but on this side with Song and Rui Perez in there as well, takes a lot out of them as well. But it's important because we spoke about Hami Shahin's role in this setup. He has been excellent for them. You know, he can come in as well defensively and go out wide as well. So he's been very, very important for them.
And again, they're happy to just keep their shape here, LCS. They are compact when they don't have the ball. And we did see against Brunei a certain press that they did make.
Yeah.
And force errors and mistakes from that Brunei DPMM side. But this BG Tampines side has a little bit more about them with the creativity and the quality.
But at the moment, the Sailors side is so well drilled at the moment. And, you know, I think Gavin was speaking about being calmness, but, you know, going forwards, the intensity as well, it's so patient, but at the same time slow. It gives an opportunity for the Lion City Sailors defense and midfielders as well to get back into position.
That's the problem. That's the problem. There's no element of surprise, and if you can work out the system, you can stop it. That's the crux of the matter, and that's exactly what Rankovic has done with this LCS side. If they're going to be too slow coming forwards and injecting that pace, nothing wrong with a long ball punch forward, squeeze in, and then try and make something happen. Now the methodicalness of the LCS. Now time and space for Diogo Costa to look to exploit. Ramselaar wants it to feet, not given. So Costa has to go back. Rankovic just saying why, wants it played quicker down on the touchline. And again, played into the key players. I'll get your thoughts on something in a minute, Sashi, which is quite interesting. Diogo Costa finds Ramselaar. Ramselaar wants him on the overlap. There he is, delivers, dinks it in, and ooh, it was a little bit of a wayward one. Dankovic clears his lines. Lionel Tan gets there first, though.
Oh, that's so smart from Lionel. Just slight nudge on Sekunori. Gains possession again.
Here's Lestien. Song. Lionel Tan. Upires. Dankovic. Again, moving the ball slowly at the back before looking to exploit Ramselaar. He keeps it simple. All the way out wide is Hammy, who's advanced. Can he deliver? Elects to cut inside. And again, the shape from this BG Tampines side, very, very good. Dylan Fox barking instructions to put players in position. Yamashita blocks that one clear. Enomoto with a flick. And again, comes back to Dankovic. You're going to see a lot of this in this game, Sashi, as we're almost 25 minutes through.
Yeah, it does look like it's an attack against defense here. A team just defending deep and then just trying to catch them on the break. That time, Rovers a little bit sloppy there.
Right, who's going to have had the more touches in the game? Lestien, Ramselaar, or the defenders of Lion City Sailors?
At the moment is the defenders. You know, Bailey Wright, Datkovic.
Who gets paid the most money? Who are your best players? Who do you want on the ball?
That's a good point, isn't it? And you want these players, Ramselaar, Lestien, even Shawal up top. You know, I think he hasn't had enough of the ball.
Got to give them the ball more, Sassy. They're the ones, they're the big name players. They're the big money players.
I think that goes back to what Rankovic wants. You know, just play it quickly and then, you know, be a little bit more direct sometimes and play it to them and then play off them, you know, and they need support. They need the ball, Lestien and Ramselaar especially. And at the moment, not getting it.
They're good debates to have. I've had these debates with a few people, Sashi, and now defenders in the Premier League in England, the most touches was Virgil van Dijk. You've got that forward line, and you've got those players. You've got Mo Salah in there, who doesn't touch the ball as much as Virgil van Dijk. Who do you want? Who's going to create you a goal? It's but the game is starting to turn and change slightly. But that's one for another day, and we'll talk about that off air. But need to be a little bit quicker going forwards. LCS. Diogo Costa keeping it simple. Bailey Wright again with another touch. Finds Song. All one-way traffic at the moment. They've kept the ball here for about 2 minutes, LCS, and that was a sloppy pass from Lionel Tan. But Hami Shane bailed his mate out there by keeping that one in play.
It's a great save there, actually, from Hami Shane.
Dakovic has to go wide. Ramselaar peels into that wide area. A little flick of the feet. Great ball in Song. Dylan Fox, brilliant header from him. And it needed to be as well. Song at full burst. Danger not clear. Hilmi plays it on. Lestien pulls it back. BG Tampines can try and come out, and there is a little bit of space here now looking to exploit. Here is Irfan Najib. But again, slow. Now everybody from LCS has got back. This is exactly what you just spoke about, Sashi.
Yeah, exactly. And just look at how fast the Lion City Sailors are back again.
Good ball played in. Enomoto couldn't get a big toe there. Nakamura with the ball. Enomoto with the run, but just skipping through to Zafran in goal.
Yeah, Enomoto on the stretch there. This was a very intelligent ball. Brilliant ball, actually. And just that bounce as well just caught Enomoto out.
Would you say that's probably their best opportunity getting into the box so far today?
I think so, you know, and we've played almost 30 minutes of this game. And just going back to just before that, right? Irfan Najib had the ball and he was too slow, and then Lion City Sailors, the defense and the midfield just got back quickly. It's the discipline to get back, and to break this, they've got to go a little bit quicker.
Lestien. Double block. Was that a handball? Dylan Fox adjudged to have handled the ball there when he put the block in. Be interesting to see that. Right on the edge of the box as well. Lestien asking for a card. We don't like to see that. He's just thrown himself at the ball, and when you do that, if the ball hits your arm and it's going to be a free kick, then yes, but not intentional there. You're trying to put a block on.
Yeah, and then Taki was right on the spot. Knew exactly that there was a handball. Good to see this again on the replays, but this is a very much Lestien territory. Just have to see whether this was in the box. Oh yeah, it was the first one.
Yeah, it was the first one, yeah. But he's turning his back, look, and his arm, that's a natural position when you're turning, to be able to throw yourself there. So the right decision, just a handball, and nothing further from Mohamed Taki.
And either way,
Rankovic not happy. I think Rankovic wants a card shown, but it does happen. But there's a chance here, a real chance, and it is 22 yards out because the BG Tampines Rovers side are on the penalty spot.
It's a wonderful position, really, and Shazwan Buhari just covering his right, so the wall is covering his left. So anything over that side, he will be in trouble. And it's Ramsala and Lestien's territory here.
Got to be Lestien. It's got to be a lefty on that side. Sashi surely. Whistle goes. Ramsala is waiting. So is Lestien. Will we see a little bit of magic? It's Lestien. It's Lestien straight down the throat. Went for the power of Shazwan Buhari, but it covered that side. The wall doing its job, protecting the other side. Good keeping in the end. Yeah,
exactly. He just spoke about the positioning. Oh, and just now, there's a ball that was played back to Shazwan Buhari as just we watching this replay. He almost got caught there, BG Tampines.
A little let off then for the Stags. Again, Sharp slowing things right down, which allows that line of five, and you can see it on the screen there, that line of five to get back defensively for the Lion City Sailors.
Yeah, and that extra defender in there, just it's almost like a guarantee.
Here's Lestien. Got a good question for you a moment, Sassy. Dylan Fox again with another solid header away. Who's got to change? BG Tampines or Lion City Sailors? What needs to happen?
Well, for me, I think BG Tampines are having problems defensively as well in a way, because what happens is, let's take a look at this again before that. Yeah, what happens is when Ramsla is up top or Lestien is up top, they almost like 2 against 1. Especially when Diego Costa push on and Hami Shine push on. So they've got a problem defensively. And going forwards as well, I think they've got to just go on a little bit quicker. We talk about being calm, but they're not posing any danger to this Lion City defense. And that's a problem for me. And it's just going forwards, they need to be a little bit, to take a little bit more risk. Because I think at the moment, they're just worried what happens if they go forward quickly, and then what happens at the back when they do lose the ball.
Something's got to give, something's got to change. The reason that Rankovic wasn't happy was he thought that that was a penalty, and They've been watching the video replays down on the iPads that they have down on the touchline.
I think they were referring to the second player.
Could have been. Ball whipped in. Free header almost for Dylan Fox, and then it's volleyed back in. Nakamura. No one clears it. They don't deal with it. Now it's just launched forwards and almost finding Lestien, but Ramsalar just as dangerous with the ball. 4-on-3 if they use it right. Lestien has time and space. Showell's there, and so is Lionel Tan. Lestien has to check back inside. Ramsalar gets himself onside. His turn to try and show a little trick or two. BG Tampines defence back now in full force.
Tell you what, that was great defending from Glenn Quay. Didn't jump into the challenge, didn't dive in.
Diogo Costa looking to go in behind, just a little bit too much pace on that, and it goes harmlessly behind. Yeah, I think you're right with that incident, Sassy. But again, it's the very first thing that happens, not the second thing.
Yeah.
Because that handball, the first one, if that hadn't happened, there's no way it would have been handball for the second one.
Yeah, exactly. And this time around, Diogo Costa just trying to go past Irfan Najib. Irfan Najib a little bit too smart for him there. Used his body very well.
This is the problem that the BG Tampines side have. If Enomoto flicks it on, there's no one with him. When they play other teams in the SPL, that may happen. There may be bodies further forwards, but not willing to play and show his hand just yet is Gavin Lee. Harry tried to tuck it up the line. Lestien a little bit frustrated that the ball didn't come to him a bit quicker.
I've seen teams, when they do press this Sailors side a little bit high up the pitch, they do get into trouble. I think Geylang is one team that comes to mind. They always had a little bit of success against Sailors.
Here's Ramsalar cutting inside. It's still Ramsalar. Finds Lestien. He wanted to hit it first time. Lestien on the left foot. Lestien! Looking for that far corner again. He wanted to hit that first time, but it was a little bit overplayed from Bart Ramsalar, who dropped the shoulder and cut in himself. But Lestien again, not a million miles away.
I think this time Shazwan was really struggling. He was scrambling to get there, and I don't think he will get there. This was another chance for, and again, it's coming from that guy here, the number 17. He's been excellent, looking really lively. If there's one player you would, put your money on, that's him.
And Enomoto with a layoff. It's a little bit sloppy though. It allowed Lionel Tan to go and close down, and Zlatkovic just couldn't get there. Joel Chu threads that one for Kanori, looking to get in behind Lionel Tan, who gets his body and his frame in the way, and then Bailey Wright just saying, why didn't you play it back to the keeper? He's just kicked it out for a throw-in and put his side under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, he just panicked a little bit. I think the pass back for Zafan was on. And to be fair, Zafan probably needs a touch.
I don't think he's had that much to do in this game, really, has he?
Yeah.
Talk about your touch maps. I don't think there'll be too many touches. I think you're absolutely spot on there, Sashi. Love a good touch map. Let's not forget that the Lion City Sailors won this competition 12 months ago, beating Hougang United 3-1. BG Tampines, the last time they won it was back in 2019 as that ball's played forwards, but skips through to Zafani. Easy pickings for him. That was the one, Sassy, where the third and fourth place game was 12-11 on penalties. Diogo Costa fires that one in. It's far too heavy, but Lestien is there. He fires one back in, looking for Shawol. Again, Shawalamwa not really having too many touches in this game, but he's working incredibly hard.
Yeah, exactly, and the ball is not coming to him as well, and he's not the kind of player who, as we look at the cross again, he's not the kind of player who's you know, a forward who's gonna knock the ball off and then go again. He likes to run into the channels, good on the ball, very fast, usually play out wide. Probably that's his favorite position. But the ball from Diego Costa just before that has got to be better.
Yeah, just slightly heavy on that occasion. It's Lankovic who's pushed on. Nakamura dropping that little bit deeper. Shashayan to Lankovic. We haven't seen that inverted fullback tonight, have we?
Yeah.
He's not been allowed to because of Lestien. Oh, that's a strong challenge, shall we say?
Yeah, from Hami Shahid, no complaint from Zlatkovic. Very good to see that as well.
One for the memory banks, though. You know, Sashi players don't forget. Enomoto's gone to ground off the ball. Was there a little collision or a coming together there?
Yeah, we're barely right.
No surprise there, then. Joel Chu dropping deep. Yamashita happy to go all the way back. Shashayan. Good shape there from LCS once again, denying space, but that's a great ball played through. Kanori's in here. Has he got bodies in the box? Kanori skips back inside. Kanori! Diogo Costa with the block. They're asking for the offside, but it's not given.
Well, I tell you what, just take a look at Glenn Quay's position there. I think the ball should have been played to him from Sia Kanori. That was a good run, good pass. And Glenn Quay will be frustrated.
Now, possibly the best opportunity that they've had of breaking the lines and getting in behind this LCS defence in this first 45 minutes. Kanori again delivers. It's deep. It's very deep. Zlatkovic looking to get on the end of it. Hami not wanted to take any chances, so flicking the header away. But let's see, Sashi, because that was a great opportunity as Kanori got in behind.
That's the first time that they got behind, and that was a great run, great ball as well. And for the first time, Diego Costa caught napping there in those half spaces between him and Tony Datkovic.
Nakamura keeps things simple. There is Joel Chu dropping deep again and getting centralised, but again the LCS have everybody back in place, killing that space. Kanori, he delivers this time, doesn't wrap his foot around it enough.
Yeah, I'm sure he was going for a cross there, 1v1 against Diego Costa. And Walter's going out of touch.
Well, it was this opportunity earlier that would really have started the bells ringing. Was he offside, Sash?
Yeah, it did look like he was offside, but anyway, it would have been checked if this ball had gone. Just take a look at Glenn Quay there. He was so frustrated at the end there. And having said that, he was offside.
Again, now let's not. I know you had a little bit of a rant about that the other day, and don't get me started on it either. That's how injuries happen.
Yeah.
Now it's the turn of BG Tampines to drop and keep their shape. The ball tried to be threaded through Zlatkovic, easily picking that one off. Well, who's going to ring the bell? Who's going to get that first goal? That's going to be the big question. Approaching half-time, literally one-way traffic up until the last 2 or 3 minutes, where BG Tampines Rovers have got in behind once or twice LCS. Diogo Costa, easy for him.
Oh, that's superb from Costa. We talk about 1v1 defending. He had pace and he had the strength as well. Knew exactly what he was doing. Just shove him. Look at the strength there. And not a foul as well. Brilliant.
Oh, he's only 21. Glenn Quay's not too much older, 3 or 4 years older than him, but that just goes to prove how important and how the goals evolve, the games evolve, Sashi. The gym work, the upper body strength, the physicality now that's required. Your prediction is spot on at the moment, Sashi. Not the 2-2 bit that you told me off air. I'm just going to tell everybody that. But you did say it was going to be somewhat of a draw after 90. We're almost halfway there. Just to remind the viewers at home, if there is a draw, we will go to extra time and we will have penalties if required. But there is still a long, long way to go, so we're not going to talk about that now until towards the end of the match if it remains this way. Zafan flicked on, Diogo Costa, Yamashita comfortably mopping up.
Well, that was much better. You see Sio Kanori, Glenn Quay just pushing up high up the park, going for the press, and then that ball from Zafan. I don't think he meant it, but you know, they won the ball.
That's what I say, who's got to change, Sassy? Yeah. They've got to sacrifice another body forwards, BG Tampines. Lion City Sailors have to inject that pace when they're keeping the ball. Enomoto made a fantastic run there, just off the back of Bailey Wright, but Dakovic had tucked in. Zlatkovic didn't see it. Sharp. And again, pedestrian pace. Kanori keeps things moving. Nakamura helps it on. Irfan Najib. Glenn Quay.
Well, it's almost looking for the perfect pass, because a couple of times you see Enomoto making that run, Kanori making that run behind the defense, but the ball didn't come.
That was the perfect pass from Dylan Fox out to Irfan Najib. Couldn't have a good first touch to deliver though. Nakamura fires one to the far post. Latkovic is there. Didn't get close enough. That's really good defending from Hami Shaheen. Really top draw. He knew that Zlatkovic was coming over the top of him and he could have got smashed there, but he was brave, Hami Shaheen, attacking that ball.
And Zlatkovic was favourite to win that one as well. You know, you talk about the size and the height as well, the height difference, and that was brilliant from Hami Shaheen.
You're absolutely spot on there, Sass. I thought he was going to get flat. Dylan Fox keeps things moving as well. Yamashita finds Nakamura. Not enough movement ahead of him, so he's got to go out wide. Here is Glenn Quay. Sharp. Nakamura, lovely first touch, gets in behind. Ooh, I tell you what, it was a brilliant turn. Judged to have just been a little bit too physical there with Diogo Costa, and he's very, very lucky.
I think he's lucky because he went across, he does the right thing, but then he stumbled, probably just, you know, a light touch there from Nakamura. That was a great touch, wasn't it? I tell you what, he's lucky.
What touch?
Yeah, exactly. Just looking at that again, I think he got lucky there, Diogo Costa.
Very, very lucky, Diogo Costa.
And Rankovic there, just not happy because they're not pushing higher up, and I think he was going at Rui Pires there.
Well, this last 10 minutes is when we've seen BG Tampines come alive. They've actually started to make more of a game of it by pushing higher up the field of play and causing 1 or 2 problems to the Lion City Sailors. They are still in control.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong, and that's not what we're saying, but they are being a little bit more progressive now. BG Tampines. Dylan Fox gets caught there. Shawal Anwar goes across. Was always going to happen.
Yeah, and the ball was bouncing. Maybe the ball was there to be won anyway, but Dylan Fox does well there. Just got the touch, went down. A high boot from Shawal. There you go. Just caught him on the follow through.
One minute then will be added at the end of the first 45. We're halfway through that. It's been a very, very clean game, as you would expect, with these two sides wanting to play football. So the ball not out of play much either. There hasn't been too many fouls if we're being completely honest. It's been pretty open, but something has to change in the second 45, Sashi. Oh, yellow card shown to Song. So that's the first yellow of the game, shown right on the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, challenge on Zlatkovic there. Goes past Shah Shahiran and Joel Chu. Yeah, I think.
How's he been booked for that? He's played the ball and it's his momentum that's taken him in.
Yeah, unlucky. Very unlucky, I gotta say. And that's why he was not happy at all with the decision.
That's actually not the right decision.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ramitaki will look at that a little bit later on and agree, but it has been given. There is the half-time whistle. So it's the first 45 minutes that's seen lots and lots of toil, lots and lots of passing around, but not the key players getting on the ball. That's been the issue. Rankovic storming forwards to go and talk to the officials by the looks of things, but there is still a lot of work for both to do. BG Tampines Rovers came to the party in the last 10 minutes of that first 45, but both sides need to change and make something happen in the second half if they are going to go on to claim silverware. At half-time from the Jalan Besar Stadium in the Singapore Cup final, it's BG Tampines Rovers 0, the Lion City Sailors 0.
It is half-time then at Jalan Besar Stadium in the Singapore Cup final. Score here 0-0 at Jalan Besar Stadium, the Singapore Cup final. BG Tampines Rovers versus Lion City Sailors. As it stands, that delayed kickoff kicking off at 6:15. Roshan, it's been a bit of a damn squib, not just referring to the weather. One-way traffic.
Yeah, it has been one-way traffic. I've been a bit disappointed with the way BG Tampines have played this evening. It has shades of their performance at Bishan Stadium in that 1-0 defeat to the Lion City Sailors. They look very timid. You know, it's quite okay to go soak and strike, but there's no soaking at the moment as well. You know, you mentioned
not much striking either.
Not much striking as well. So on both sides of it, it's been very disappointing from them because the Sailors have created lots of opportunities and have looked dangerous going forward.
Okay, on cue, we will provide those opportunities for you. Let's have a look at what has happened so far in that first half, and it's a litany of chances from Lion City Sailors. Roshan, there was one as early as the 9th minute. Long-range effort.
Yeah, Ramsala here with this effort. It opened up for him in that little bit of space there, pocket that he was able to find. Wasn't closed down. Gave Shazwan something to think about. It wasn't too much of a worry in the end as it went sailing over. But that was the early warning for the BG Tampines defence.
3 minutes later, they had another chance here.
Yeah, given straight back to the Lion City Sailors by Shah, who initially did very well to cover. And Lestien, always dangerous in these one-on-one situations. Shot straight down the middle, simple enough save for Shazwan, who's been probably the most composed head at the back there for BG Tampines.
Right. A lot of that stuff was going down from Lestien, wasn't it? It was coming down this right-hand side, causing all kinds of problems, but this was the chance that really Shazwan not going to have too many problems with that.
No, he gets his positioning right here, and that's what he's done in this first half, Shazwan. His positioning has been really spot on. He's seen things early. It's come to Lestien. Again, he's looking for the near post, which I think is the wrong option. He probably just doesn't catch it as cleanly as he would have liked in that situation.
Here is a rare BG Tampines Rovers, well, first of all, foray into the final third, Roshan, let alone a chance.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of them in possession. They've not looked dangerous in that first half, and there was this opportunity here. Good ball in by Kyoga Nakamura, but just too much for Tsuki Inamoto to really do too much with. Not a bad run into the area, pretty good run, but it hasn't happened enough for BG Tampines. Then this was that free kick from Lestien. Plenty of power behind that, but Shazwan, again, he spots it early, good footwork, shifts across well, and gets himself into a nice position. So, as I said, his positioning has been very good this evening so far, and he's helped his side out big time.
Well, guess what? Lestien had another opportunity. It's basically been all of his opportunities. We've seen him do that so many times, haven't we?
We have, getting it onto his left foot. And the thing is, what's disappointing here for BG Tampines, they've allowed this to happen far too often. There's been too many times that they've let him cut onto his left foot and have shots at goal.
Let's have a look at the stats so far. That cannot be pleasant reading. A cup final, you've not had a single attempt at all in the first half.
Yeah, really disappointing. Very, very disappointing from BG Tampines. And this is why I said they look very timid with the ball, without the ball as well. And they've not created anything of note. They're normally very good in possession. But even though they're trying to be secure defensively, the spaces are far too open. They're going with this 4-2-4 that we saw from them against BG Patom United. But there they were aggressive. They were very compact between the lines. And when they had the ball, they were brave, able to play it out from the back and switch it up with longer passes forward, find the attackers in those channels. Lion City Sailors have got good control of this. They can't play through the middle. So what they've done is they've stretched the pitch brilliantly. You look at Costa on one side, Hami Shaheen or Lestien on the right-hand side, and they're essentially saying to BG Tampines, you're playing this 4-2-4, you're trying to close off the central spaces, we'll go around you, and we'll use width to create space in the middle. So that's what they're doing. Out wide, combinations there, move back in field, and that's why they're causing all those problems in possession for BG Tampines.
Just at the end of the first half, the end of the half, we should say, there was a little coming together between Rankovic and the officials. I think he was best pleased with what was going on because of what he felt, that we're hearing that they felt that there was a penalty.
I'm not sure what he's seen on his replay because it's quite obvious here that there was a handball on the outside of the penalty box, but there was nothing on the inside. It came off the leg. Yeah. So there was a handball, and then it came off the leg of I think it was Yamashita who put a challenge in. So he's made a mistake there.
He's claiming it's the replays that he's watching.
I'm not quite sure what he's watching, but I think it's quite clear. All of us have seen that it's come off the leg of Yamashita. If there was a handball, it was outside the area from Fox.
I think the frustration might be coming from the fact that his team haven't scored yet, despite dominating.
Yeah, they've dominated. They've been in control. They've created chances. They've looked good going forward, but they haven't found the goal. They haven't found the goal that they've needed. And again, the game can change in the second half because I expect that BG Tampines will make a few tweaks to their approach. They can't afford to be so passive anymore. Again, I say, if you want to sit back, you want to protect spaces, you have to be a lot more compact and a lot more aggressive.
Which they're not right now.
Which they're not showing at all at the moment. I mean, 0 attempts in that first half of a Singapore Cup final. Again, it just comes down to the fact that Gavin Lee said it's about being calm so that you have that automatic style of play. So players are comfortable, they can do what they do without overthinking it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how he sent that message of calm because it's not coming across from the players. They look a little bit too scared, a little bit too nervous to play in possession. I'm
just wondering, looking at the team sheet there in front of you, Roshan, is there someone like a Faris Ramli that could come on for BG Tampines?
I was just going to say Faris Ramli. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come on.
We thought he did quite well, didn't he, in the semi-final?
And if he does come on, he gives them something different. He gives them directness, he gives them pace, also that experience of playing in big matches. So if he comes on, you probably see someone like Joel Chu coming off. And then you change the profile and perhaps you change the shape of the side just a little bit as well.
Okay, well, we wait to see what Gavin Lee is going to do. He wants to change it up. He has to, really, because it has been all about Lion City Sailors in that first half. Second half coming up very shortly here, the Singapore Cup final. BG Tampines Rovers against Lion City Sailors.
very warm welcome back to the Jalan Besar Stadium. It is, of course, the Singapore Cup final with BG Tampines Rovers and the Lion City Sailors going head-to-head and deadlocked at the moment at 0-0. Lots for both sides to do in the second half, none more so than BG Tampines. Sashi Kumar joins me in the commentary position. Sashi, 6 attempts from LCS on goal, 3 on target, 0 shots on target for BG Tampines. Is that the biggest thing that Gavin Lee needed to address at half-time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it has been pretty disappointing, if you ask me, and for the BG fans, BG Tampines fans at the stadium and at home as well. They need to do a little bit more. It is the final. It is the final, and they've got the players to do damage to this Lion City Sailors defense, I'm sure. You know, and to come out, and I think Roshan was right in a way that they've been pretty timid in a way. You know, they're scared of taking risks, of going forwards maybe, afraid of the transitions. So they just really got to go out there and give it a shot, because the players that they got out there are good enough.
Well, let's see. They are the ones that get us underway in the black strip. Kicking from right to left. All for both sides to do. Lion City Sailors need to inject that little bit of pace when they're going forwards. Lovely turn from Nakamura. Enomoto, a much better start, a much livelier start as well, it has to be said, as Zlatkovic tucks it in the channel. Enomoto makes the run. Enomoto faced up by Bailey Wright. Enomoto pulls it back. Kanori! Well, Kanori would have been the story had he have scored there. Went for that top corner, but just slightly got under the ball.
Much better start to the second half for BG Tampines, and right away that was an attempt at goal, off target though, but much better. And I think Nakamura was instrumental, because he beat that 2 defenders or midfielders in the middle of the park and set that attack going.
You are right, that will go down statistically as a shot towards goal, so that's their first attempt of the game right at the start of this second half. They may have just been trying to play out that first half to kill the game and nullify it to an extent, so let's see if they are a bit more exciting and a bit more dynamic going forwards in this second half. Hugo Costa tucks it up the line. Ramsalar, ever willing to make those runs, is on the ball. Costa there in support as well. Back to Ramsalar. It's a sliding challenge that was needed by Shah Shalian. And a little clumsy foul means it's going to be a free kick that goes in favour of BG Tampines.
Yeah, very important sliding challenge there by Shahiran. Just got in there, anticipated that pass from Diego Costa for Ramsalar.
Ramsalar tucked in the channel. Diogo making that run in behind. Hammy, a little bit of time and space. Checks back inside. Hammy on the left foot, goes for the curler. Curls it just wide. Unlucky there from Hammy Shane, who stepped in from that right wing-back position, the former Young Player of the Year.
That was brilliant work. He just sits Chol Chu down. There you go. And went for the curler. Exactly what he was doing there, but just couldn't wrap his foot round enough.
Zlatkovic loses the ball. No foul given. Time and space here for Lestien. Lestien pulls it back. Ramsalar! It's a defensive error and a mistake from Zlatkovic that has caused the issue and the problem. He went to ground, and Lestien capitalised by pulling the ball back to the penalty spot. But Ramsalar making absolutely no mistake Just 4 minutes into this second half, and the Sailors take the lead.
And BG Tampines looking for the foul, and I think Taki got it right this time. Yeah, he just lost it, Zlatkovic. It wasn't a foul at all. Great decision from Taki. And then it was all about Lestian and Ramsala. Can they punish BG Tampines? Yes, they can. And these two players linking up so well this season. And there you go. Once again, Ramsala, his 6th goal in the cup.
This is exactly what the game needed as well now, because BG Tampines will have to come out. It's a cup final, so they'll have to get a goal to try and even force extra time, and that will open this game up nicely. But Bart Ramsala, as you mentioned, and spot on, 10 goals in the league. It's now 6 in this competition. Lively as you like in the semi-final, and on point in the final. Perfect dream start to the second half then for the Sailors. Oh, no one can believe that free kick's been awarded.
Again, unlucky Song, I think. I think he got the ball, but having said that, it's just that tackle from behind or from that side. Let's take a look at the replays again. You'll know why. There you go. He's coming from the side as well. Yeah, I think he takes Joel Chu out as well. So
it did look like there was contact there. Sasha, I think that's the right decision from Mohamed Taki.
Yep.
Is there a chance here to strike straight back then for the Stags? Glenn Quay with the ball. It's a great ball. Dylan Fox is there. Yamashita heads it down. Fox gets there. Hami just turns away and comes away with the ball. Showell muscled off by Zlatkovic. Zlatkovic tries to fire one in. Lionel Tan with a header away. This game starting to pick up now and be a little bit more feisty, as you would expect in a cup final.
Well, just going back to that free kick, it was a wonderful one. And could Dylan Fox go for goal there? I think he just headed it back into an area where he thought there would be another BG player.
It was Yamashita that just got to it before Dylan Fox. The pair of them were attacking that ball, but you are right, you've got to go for goal there. Here is Dylan Fox again. Sharp on the turn, trying to keep things simple. Zlatkovic upended. Lionel Tan catches him afterwards, and Mohamed Taki straight on point, awarding the free kick. Another chance to deliver some quality in there.
Well, that's a silly foul to give away. Lionel, he wasn't getting there, and then there you go, just getting onto the back of Zlatkovic.
Taken short. Joel Chu creates a yard, tries to flick one into that far post area, and there was a touch. They've said there was a little touch from Diogo Costa. He didn't need to do that. Communication slightly lacking in the back line. Here's that chance again.
Yeah, that was the ball. Yeah, it was Yamashita who got the, well, could have gone for goal there.
What do you mean could have? You've got to go for goal there, Sashi.
Decided to hit it back in the end.
More pressure now as BG Tampines look to get an equaliser. Drilled in. Dylan Fox, the target, flicked away from Bailey Wright, the skipper. Leading by example, attacking that ball.
Yeah, it's been excellent today and the whole season.
Well, they will have to push a little bit further forwards. It doesn't have to be immediate, but there has been an immediate response from BG Tampines. They've already had a couple of attempts on goal when they had none in the first half. Kanori cuts inside. Kanori clips one in. Enomoto tries to head it down for Joel Chu. Him and Glenn Quay get in the way of each other. Irfan Najib.
Well, the goal has woken BG Tampines up. You just wonder where This performance, or how did this performance come about? You know, it should have happened way in that first half.
Well, they are retaining the ball a lot better as well now. Kanori helps it wide, gets it back. Kanori fronts it up by Costa, gets past him. Bailey Wright, though, in the right place at the right time. Sliding challenge from Nakamura. He was the last one to touch it. And a little bit of pressure can be relieved now from the Sailors.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? You talk about BG Tampines responding quickly. At the other end, you got to be careful as well.
All the way back to Seswan Buhari. Dylan Fox, nice ball into Enomoto, lovely turn as well, keeping it away from Lionel Tan. Tried to tuck it up the line, but good defending again. Hamishide, good defending.
Great work again from Enomoto. He turns Lionel superbly on the outside.
Keeping the ball and just popping it around. Dankovic there, very, very close to Kanori, not giving him any space at all. Kanori helps it on. Nakamura thought about the shots. Gibson puts it onto his left foot. Kanori, Enomoto! Flag's gone up! Oh, that's close. That's going to be very, very close. The best move of the game from either side, and BG Tampines did it. Lovely work down that right-hand side, and a great ball fired in from Kanori. Enomoto made no mistake, but adjudged to have just strayed offside.
Well, that was almost the perfect move. Yeah, he was offside, wasn't it? His left foot, you can see there down the line. But that was almost the perfect move. And that is the kind of football that we are hoping, or not we are hoping, the neutrals and the BG fans would have hoped for right from the start. Brilliant football. And that final ball was superb as well from Kanori.
Like the way how you backtrack there, Sassy, and obviously you weren't speaking for the Lion City Sailor fans. But you are right, all the neutrals out there want a game, they want goals, they want entertainment. Unfortunately, it's exactly what the BG Tampines players, fans and all the supporters alike want. The Lion City Sailors fans are going, no, 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 please, no, no, no goal. He had just strayed offside, so still 1-0. Much better. More action in the first 12-13 minutes of the second half than we did in the whole of the first 45, and there's only going to be more to come because we have to have a winner. There is a goal on the board, so BG Tampines need to push. Gaps will appear when they do that. Lion City Sailors need to exploit, so plenty of football left in this one. Perez just getting a little flick back. Bailey Wright letting the go all the way home. Zarfan puts his foot right through it. Michel Lamoire, good touch from him. A little bit of time and space now. Just helped out wide by Song. Here's Hammy. Song to Rui Perez. Lestien finds himself in a very unusual position in the middle of the park. Ramsalar. Here's Ramsalar again. Diogo Costa. Ramsalar makes the run in behind. Gets there, tries to pull it back. Yamashita clears his lines. Rui Perez picks up the loose ball. Just trying to get themselves back with a foothold in this game. LCS down the line, Song crosses. Dylan Fox placed perfectly to head it away. Lestien, time and space now. Hami delivers into that near post area, good keeping. Shezlan Buhari attacking the ball and claiming it easily.
It's already a much better second half. The space is opening up, and it's all about the movement. And we talk about Song with his movement. Ramsalar, just before that, in that passage of play, he didn't stop running after playing. He's always sniffing out for a chance to run into the channels, and that's where the spaces will open up.
We are going to see a change in a minute or two from BG Tampines. Faris Ramli will be coming on, and it will be Chu that will go off. Somewhat expected substitution. Yamashita, sharp. Just keeping it simple, playing it out wide to Irfan, who's in an advanced position. Here's Glenn Quay. Nakamura just reverse chops it back into Joel Chu. All about discipline now for the Lion City Sailors. Very similar to when they played DPMM. They kept their discipline. They exploited it late on by getting that second goal. That's a lovely touch from Ramsalar. Perfect touch. Lestien looking upon forward. Shaolanwa's in the box. Diogo in support. Song on the edge of the box. Here he is. Just a little bit too close for Yamashita to deal with.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a poor ball, a sloppy ball that was played inside from Diogo Costa. And no pressure as well.
Kanori. Nakamura. It's a little give and go. Inamoto.
There's Latkovic there, just a little bit too narrow. No options on this left-hand side, so that's why they had to go in back to the right-hand side.
Here is the change. Faris Ramli will be coming on. Of course, the former Lion City Sailors player won the league back with LCS back in 2021. Now looking to make the difference in this game. Here he is straight into action.
I think that's a good substitution to make. Obviously, Faris, good dribbler, very direct as well. And on this side, he'll be up against Hami Shahin.
Nakamura goes behind. I'll tell you what, that was a proper professional foul there. If you watch this again from Rui Perez, he's very lucky he doesn't get a yellow card.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tell you, proper professional foul.
And he's done this a couple of times in this game, and that's what he's there for in a way when the players just get past him.
Here's Faris Ramli looking to cause problems. Corner given. Hami not happy. Faris ecstatic.
Yeah, he says that his tackle, the ball had gone against Faris before going out of play. And he's not wrong there.
Very tough one and tight ones to call. And have VAR for every decision. Sashi, that's the thing. They're only there to help and assist with key decisions, which is vitally important. 5 black shirts to aim for in the box. 3 hovering round the edge. Fired in deep, and the keeper's come and punched it away. Zafan got there first, and it was a good fist from him.
Yeah, he had to be big and strong, that Zafan. He does just what is needed in those kinds of situations.
Nakamura skipping past the challenge. Fires it back out wide. Faris Ramli has time and space. Faris gets to the byline, pulls it back, nobody there. Zlatkovic just clears his lines and scrambles it away. Here's Zlatkovic to Nakamura. Dylan Fox with a little bit of time and space. Clips one into the far post, and Emoto was there. Bailey Wright flicks it away. Offside. Is an offside being called? Yes, it is an offside decision.
Yeah, I think he was coming back from an offside position on that left-hand side, I think. So it wasn't Zlatkovic. It was in the earlier passage of play.
Well, the game really has sparked into life this second 45. It's all epitomised with the first shot from Kanori in the first minute of the second half, and these are the gaps that are going to appear in behind. Shawalamwa! Well, made a mess of it, but still finds Lestien, who tees it back. Song! Well, wasn't singing the right tune on that occasion. Song Euyong got slightly underneath the ball. There's been a big collision as well with Fox and Zlatkovic. That doesn't look good, but that should have been 2.
What a ball that was, and I tell you what, we've got to give credit to Fox there, because we thought Shawal just miskicked it, but he got there back right in time to just put the challenge in.
Did he get a little nick, Sashi?
Yes,
it looks as though Dylan Fox, that was brilliant defending in the end.
Absolutely brilliant.
He got just enough on that to put off Shawalamwa.
Yeah, and then after that he got injured with a collision with his own player, Zlatkovic.
That shows you that everybody's diving, trying to get on the ball. They're all right. They've just come together. There you go. No, Dylan will be all right. Big, strong lad. There's a lot of work as well, and had an issue for about 3-4 months when he was in India and went to train at his own cost and everything over in the UAE just to get himself back fit again and back into some sort of shape. And you can see that that's really paid dividends for him this season. Of course, was signed from Finland, was playing at Lahti before coming over here after being at Goa, North East and Jamshedpur in the Indian Super League. Here's Zlatkovic. There you go. Told you he'd be all right. He's a big, strong lad. Back on the pitch is Dylan Fox.
Well, he's still clutching his left knee there, I think, and should be okay. Just have to run this off, maybe just for the next 5 minutes and see how it goes.
Happens. You know that, Sashi. You are right, though. You just run it off. You just get on with it. Worry about it after the game. A bit of ice. Has been in talks with the club about extending his contract as well for another 2 years, so that could be interesting. See what happens in the off-season. This, of course, is the final game of the complete Singapore football calendar at the professional level. For the men's game, anyway. Can't go back to being methodical. They need to keep that pace and tempo, BG Tampines. Here is Shah. Everybody back behind the ball for LCS. Time ticking by. We're almost at the 70-minute mark. Dylan Fox just helps that one forwards. Good turn in the end from Zlatkovic. Kanori backing into Bailey Wright. Wanted the foul, not given. Flick forward from Shah. Enomoto gets on the ball. Yamashita has time. No, it's not the best ball. Not the best ball took forward there from Irfan Najib.
Yeah, I think he expected that run from Enomoto, but Enomoto had come short. The ball was played into space. Easy for Shazwan now.
A wiry smile from Irfan. Knows he should have done a little bit better there. Second spell at the club. Shawalamwa winning the header. Ramsalar picking up the second ball, but Shah quickly pouncing on that one as well. In behind, Faris Ramli. Good defending. Asking for the handball there, Faris Ramli. Hamish saying he'd come all the way back in there. This is going to get looked at, I think. They're claiming the handball. Was it or wasn't it?
And Faris Ramli seems so sure about this one as well. It can't be handball for that. His hands, his left hand, just take a look at his left hand, it's just by his side. Can't be handball.
No, the arm in a natural position. That's the correct decision there, Sashi. I mean, he's moving there. His arm's next to his leg. It's not extended away from the body. And the official line is proximity to the body and intent, and there was nothing there. So the correct decision. Feet and good footwork from Zlatkovic. Fox just helps that on. Is Kanori. Nakamura in behind. Enomoto was the target. Good defending from Zlatkovic. Knew where Enomoto was, and it's so important for defenders to feel where the striker is. Knew exactly where he was and managed to shepherd that out.
It was a very good, interesting ball there. You knew that Enomoto was just behind him, but that was good defending from Datkovic. He knew exactly where Enomoto was and his positioning as well. Got it right.
Ball just punched forwards. Enomoto's going to get there first.
Great speed from Enomoto, but Datkovic, experience there, held out. Just got a touch in for Diego Costa.
Just wonder if he was going to hit that first time, because it looked as though it was dropping nicely. And just imagine if that one would have been hit and gone in the back of the net. Here's Faris Ramli, who's been lively since coming on. Has to check back out on this occasion though. Nakamura. Faris Ramli lets it go. Wanted Zlatkovic on the overlap, Lestium. Well, we don't say that very often. Back there defending. Shah just couldn't get that ball under control. Kanori gets there first, retains possession. It's a good spell now from BG Tampines Rovers. Faris Ramli, Enomoto just out-muscled again there by Datkovic. He's still winning back though. Shah skipping past all the challenges. Nakamura! Well, definitely one for the cameras there from Zarfan, diving and punching that to safety rather than catching it.
Yeah, it was a simple ball, wasn't it? Although the shot was a good one. Went, caught it cleanly, Nakamura, with his left foot. There you go, just going across the ball and...
Well, catch the ball.
Yeah.
Keep your side under pressure, and they're still under pressure. Enomoto looking to turn in behind Bailey Wright. It's things like that, Sashi, that if the goalkeeper catches it, the game's quiet for 30 seconds. A lovely take from Shawalamwa. Finds Ramsalar. Lestienne bombing forwards. Song in advance. Shao getting into the box as well. In the end, somehow managed to find its way out for a corner.
Yeah, it's a corner. That's a powerful run there on that left-hand side. Shawwal initially with a superb first touch, and then played Ramsala through. It's a very good second half already. Brilliant. And end-to-end stuff as well. And Lion City Sailors about to make a substitution. This was the opportunity for a cross. Ramsala, and again, it was against Nakamura. He found himself in a 1v1 situation defensively.
Oh, looks as though it is going to be Abdul Razak that's coming on. We'll bring you confirmation of that in a minute. As Song fires this one in, it's deep. Rupanez the target, heads it back across, flicked on. Dankovic not happy that no one was going and attacking that ball. Interestingly there, Bailey Wright and Diogo Costa stayed back defensively, so somewhat a little bit trying to shut up shop. Abdul Razak and Van Hoosen, we're hearing, are going to come on. It's going to be Shawwal Anwar and it's going to be Hamish Shine that will go off. So an extra little bit of physicality and also some fresh legs coming on for the Sailors, but they've got to defend here. Zlatkovic got taken out. Free kick right on the edge of the box, and this is a dangerous position. Bailey Wright not happy at all. It did look as though contact was made just outside the box.
Yeah, it's the right decision. It's a foul. And he was Lionel there. There you go. It's clear contact and just outside the box.
Lionel Tan again, there's a push in the back there. That's just enough, isn't it? Once you put your arm and you raise your arm into the back of somebody, it's an easy give for the referee.
Yeah, you're just giving it to the referee. It's an easy decision for him.
Right, are we going to see a little bit of special magic here? Zlatkovic, who seems to want to be on absolutely everything, is over the ball, as is Kanori.
And there's a difference in the second half as well, because Zlatkovic now, he's playing like how he usually plays. You know, right? Inverted.
Tucked in.
And it creates spaces for the rest of the teammates. And again, you wonder why they haven't started like this.
Well, we have a little bit of magic here. So Kanori or Zlatkovic. 24, 25 yards out. Looks as though it's set nicely for the right-footed player, so it could really be Kanori. It is Kanori! Went for the pace. That's the second free kick from the edge of the box we've seen, where the players have tried to do the keeper on their side. Good keeping, though. Zarfan stuck to his task. The wall did its job, and easy pickings for him.
You're right, and again, it would have been so easy for Zarfan to just shuffle out to his right-hand side, you know, just make that extra step, and that could have been a danger. But brilliant from Zarfan.
Didn't punch that one, did he?
Absolutely, he had to get that right. He did.
Here are the changes then. Abdul Razak and Van Hoosen coming on. Hamisain, as we mentioned, and Shawwal Anwar are the two players going off. So literally like-for-like substitutions. Van Hoosen will drop into that wide position, you would hazard a guess, with Abdul Razak. Will he go through the middle, or will they switch it up and maybe put Ramsala there? But it's a three that can interchange anyway.
Yeah, and especially at that right wing-back position, it's fresh legs against Faris Ramli. It's so important that, you know, he gets it right 1v1, because you always know what you're going to get against Faris. There you go. There's some discussion on the pitch as well with Song and Van Huysen and Lionel there. I'm sure he'd say, be careful of Faris.
Yeah, stop being silly. Of course, the former Tampines Rovers player, Van Hoosen. There's a change there as well. That came up quick. Tafik Sapano is the man that has come on for BG Tampines. It is Glenn Quaid that has gone off. Tafik looked all right in the first half of that game against the Lion City Sailors, if you remember, Sashi.
Yeah.
They got bought off at half-time in that last one.
Yeah, but he was a little bit unlucky in that first game. He was very lively. Obviously, you will get that from Taufik.
Here's Abdul Razak. Nice little cushion header out wide. Here's the Bartman. Bart Ramsala has support with Diogo Costa. Now they're happy to play that possession-based game, try and suck and force BG Tampines Rovers to come out. Lestian has started to make a bendy run, looking to go in behind the defenders, but had to check. It is now, but well read there. Shah Sharan doing well.
Yeah, and this, I have to say, today Nakamura and Shah Shahiran has got to do loads of legwork in terms of that defending part. They've got to like go across whenever that extra player comes into play for the LCS.
Getting up to almost 3,000 people in the stadium today for the final of the Singapore Cup. Good to see such a nice turnout for what is the showpiece and showcase game of the season. Rui Perez, again, time and space for Song, who's dropped in between the lines and finds Lestienne. Lestienne running as Zlatkovic. Lestienne, twinkle-toed, pulls it across goal, and somehow nobody there. Beautiful piece of skill from Maxime Lestienne. They couldn't capitalise or finish it off.
Yeah, and the BG Tampines defenders, Zlatkovic there as well, just so afraid to put in a challenge because it has to be right, that challenge. He does so well, Lestienne.
Good work from Faris Ramley, a little give and go, a little nudge off the ball from Song. Song saying, I'm entitled to go for that, but he needs to be careful because on a yellow card,
yes,
so
yes,
just drop the ball and walk away.
He's got to be really careful, Song. He's already on a yellow card. You don't want to be doing anything silly.
Again, the arm going up and across. It's easy for the referees to give that decision. And players do get frustrated because there's not much contact there. But when the referee sees that arm go up, they're entitled to give that free kick. Oh, lovely ball played forwards. What a ball that is. Ramsalar to kill the game. 2-touch. And the second one was too heavy. That was the problem. What a chance that was. But now the game's opened up the other way as BG Tampines Rovers look to come forwards. Kanori, time and space, playing that one out wide. Taufik with the ball in. Ball just launched up in the air. Anywhere will do at the moment for LCS as they all decide to try and trap back inside. Nakamura. Corner's been awarded. Rui Perez turning around and saying, are you sure? We're going to have a dramatic last 8 or so minutes here, Sashi.
Yeah, I think so. And again, Ramsalar, his second touch, but this was a great ball in over the top. And at this point, you think Ramsalar was favourite there. That second touch with the right foot just took it way too far.
Had to get it out of his feet, though. That was the problem. Faris Ramley delivers. Keeper comes, flaps a little bit. Shah from the edge of the box. Shah off target.
Yeah, Sailors just struggling to clear the lines there. First it was Zafan, and then after that, ball just went to Shah, who had to take it first time. Zafan comes off, got his right hand to it. A missed kick from Taufik Suparno. Hit it cleanly enough, Shah, but just got under the ball. Very difficult skill on the half volley.
Well, there is a little bit of, shall we say, game management going on. Or if we want to be really honest, time wasting. They've earned the right. They have earned the right. They're 1-0 in the lead. Not that long to go.
Almost there.
Fox comfortably wins that header. Inamoto coming together as well with Song and Shah. Lestienne, oh, lovely play from Lestienne. Zlatkovic back there defending. Lestienne involved as well. We might see tempers frayed and boil right at the end here.
Yeah, first it was between Shah and Song. this was 1v1. It was good play from Zlatkovic, and then a slight nudge there. It wasn't given.
Are they going to keep it in the corner? That's the question. Abdul Razak looks like that's what he's going to do. In the end, the last touch came off Abdul Razak, which he can't quite believe. So that's somehow a throw-in for BG Tampines, and now it's all going off. Here we go. Yellow card for not taking it in the right place. That's going to be Zlatkovic.
What was this about?
Well, you can see the linesman telling him, look, he's even tapped him and told him to come back there, and oh, that's why the little contact. You're not allowed to do that. You cannot lay your hands on the officials. And I tell you what, he's lucky he didn't get red there, because you're not allowed to put your hand on the official. It's good refereeing, good officiating to show the yellow card, because we want 11 versus 11, but you cannot physically manhandle an official.
But you know what? Why was the match official handling him or touching him? That's my question. He shouldn't have.
Yep. No, I wouldn't disagree. I think he's trying to tell him where to take the throw in
from.
Yeah,
don't touch him. You know, because players get frustrated as well. You know, and if a player touches a referee, obviously you're going to get a red card. But what happens if it goes the other way around?
Spot on, Sashi. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that at all. Fox clips it forwards. Here's the man who just got that yellow card. Zlatkovic finds Kanori. Good footwork, great skill. Kanori went for goal. There's too many white shirts there blocking him out, though. The flag's gone up for offside, though. Right on the far side, Kanori had judged to have been offside. It was great footwork and a great bit of interchange of passing with Zlatkovic and Kanori there.
Yes, with Kanori in there as well. Oof.
Oh, what, the hand? It's got to have been the hand. That's close. That's really, really close. There was a body in the box right on the edge of the 18-yard line.
Yeah, it's just not even centimeters, it's millimeters there. The play goes on. Still a little bit of time left.
Yeah, just a quick glance at the clock tells us that there's 3.5 minutes plus time added on. Zlatkovic upended, free kick awarded. And you can see there, Rankovic can't quite believe that. Puts his head in his hands straight away and was like, really?
Again, strong challenge in there. I think Song should just, remain calm. Don't go into challenges that, you can't win. And the ball was in the touchline. So relax a little bit.
Ball dinged into that far area, and it was almost a goal. But Kanori leaning back has hit the woodwork. That was the chance. That was the opportunity. How have they missed that after Zafan made a complete hash of this cross? Faris Ramli, the substitute, plays it in. They're all over the place. Slightly ahead of the ball. Kanori having to come back and hits the woodwork.
Oh, I tell you what, this was the chance, wasn't it? This was the chance. And if it wanted to go to a player, it would be Kanori in this instance. And you can see his disappointment there, the frustration. So unlucky, hits the bar.
Yes, sir, Hanapi is the man that's come on. This will be his final swan song ever. They've gone to a 3 at the back by the looks of things. BG Tampines Rovers, as they do go in search, and will look to try and get this ball forwards quickly. Gone out wide, Faris Ramli. As Nakamura making a run ahead of him. Faris Ramli cuts inside, Faris Ramli. And again, Zafan, not comfortable with catching the ball, pushes it over the back and keeps the pressure on his team.
I tell you what, he is just nervy at the moment, Zafan. it looks like a pretty straightforward catch. It is. In fact, from there, again, you just take a look at that.
Just catch it.
Yeah.
Just catch it. That's all you've got to do and take the pressure away from your team. Corner, Faris Ramli delivers. It's deep. It's flicked up in the air. It came off Rui Perez. It's going to be another corner. That's what the referee has said.
A little bit more pressure.
But this has all come from Zafran not catching a ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this one here, he says it comes off Perez.
him and Hanapi coming together. Still, the pressure is on. Into the final 30 seconds. The ball delivered. No one made a clean contact. Kanori looking to deliver. Creates half a yard, whips it in. Good solid header from Lionel Tan. And now the counter-attack's on. Ramsalar, that's a much better touch. Finds Lestien. Lestien now has a glance. Tries to slow things down. Oh, and that's a poor ball from Maxime Lestien, but won back really well from Abdul Razak. Ramsalar. Well, he'll take a yellow card for that one. There's a real... Oh, no, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Shashan looked as though he threw a headbutt forwards there. There's going to be real trouble here. We're going to see a red card somewhere. There's going to be a red card. Ramsalar's going to get booked for doing what he did. But you cannot react like that. Shahsharian threw a headbutt at Ramsalar. They may both get sent off for this. But Sashi, you can't be doing that.
Well, it's really, really pity it's come to this, because that was a clear foul by Ramsalar. He just pulls him off. And the referee had blown the whistle for that. And Shah Shahiran, obviously, his reaction there.
He'll be lucky if he stays on the pitch. You cannot throw a headbutt at another player. It is as simple as that. Ramsalar, you knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to kill the game. 5 minutes of time will be added on, and we're going to start that from the end here. Ramsalar gets the yellow card, and I tell you what, he's a very, very lucky boy, Shah Shalian, because that should have been a red card.
Well, this is clear to see. Just take a look at it. Just pulls him off, and then...
Well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. The intent is there to injure an opponent.
Yeah, exactly. And
Zinedine Zidane got sent off for that. And he's gone again. Look, he's gone for a second time. Wow. Not just once, but he's gone twice to try and headbutt. He is very, very lucky to remain on the pitch.
And Diego Costa as well got into the picture. Just stay away.
But I tell you what, after all that, the referee has handled this really well. He's calmed everybody down, and the game goes on. But Chasarian can feel very, very lucky. Yeah,
and with all that, he seemed to want to make a change as well. The Lion City Sailors, everything's happening.
Haris Harun, just to add that little bit of extra experience, coming on right at the end here. Will they make the change now or not? That's the big question.
And I think Taki is still waiting for a confirmation from VAR. Obviously, it's going to be looked at, you know, the incident.
They're taking their time here, Sashi. Yeah. And now if he has done that second headbutt and they've seen it, then there could be real trouble. But it looks as though everything's going to be moved on. He's been told to go and look at the screen, and that's, again, a correct decision. Yeah. I didn't see that second initiation of the headbutt. You do it once, the yellow card, okay, and we've said the referees try to keep everything calm and cool. You do it a second time, there's no way back. Yeah, the intent is there is no way back.
And I think he knows it as well, Shah Shahiran. And if you ask him after the game...
There's a punch there, another punch, there's two punches. There's the headbutt, but then there's the other headbutt. And you see Ramsalar walks away.
And I think Abdul Razak does well as well. He just tries to pull Shah Shahiran out of the way there.
But it's the incident afterwards, is it? That's the thing, because we haven't seen that yet on the replays. But there is the headbutt going into the play. You just can't do that.
And having said that, Taki saw that first incident. Just take a look at that. Not from here, but he saw the first incident. And then we haven't seen the second part.
Right, here we go. It's a straight red. It had to be. It had to be. There's no question. It had to be, Sashi.
Yeah.
You cannot throw a headbutt at a player, no matter what, and think you can get away with it.
Yeah, you can't. In this day and age of VAR and cameras every single where, you can't, you know. And he knows it. As simple as that. He knows it. He goes off, he walks off, he knows it. If you ask him after the game, like I said, he'll say...
He lost his head.
Yeah.
He lost his head.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is frustrating because someone's tugging at your shirt and you're trying to shrug them off, and then that red mist comes down and that's it. Here's the final change. Well, the pragmatist of that, Bart Ramselaar, is going to be bought off for the experience of Harris Harron. That's just to throw another body either defensively or in the middle of the park. Ramselaar, who's played very, very well again today. Harris Harron, more silverware for him. Unbelievable the amount of trophies that this young man has collected throughout his career. Song, was there a little nudge in the back? Yes, there was. Taufik adjudged to have just shoved him in the back there. Gavin Lee not happy and just asking his players to try and keep their calm and keep their heads. He's not happy down on the touchline.
Well, you know, he asked for calmness from his players, and he hasn't got that. And this is further time wasting as well, because you take a look at this. I mean, that's a foul, and you're just wasting more time.
But what it does as well is it kills the momentum, the speed that they can get up to. So that's all done and dusted. Song, as is right as a professional, will take his time. Interesting what you just said there about Gavin asking for calmness from the players and then reacting that way as well. Passions do run high and they do run deep,
of course,
when it comes to the end of games as well. And obviously we have had a dramatic last 5 or so minutes. We really, really have.
Yeah, we're supposed to play 5 minutes. I don't think it'll be 5 minutes. It'll be more than... We're already past that 5 minutes, obviously, because of the incident.
Well, it should be 5 minutes starting from now. No, really, it should be, because we've had that big incident, we've had everything. It should be 5 minutes from now. Faris Ramley with a cushion little layoff. What a ball that is from Kanori, but it's just a little bit too heavy. And you know exactly what Zarfan's going to do here, and calmly and coolly shows a cool head on that occasion, rather than... Didn't punch that one either, did he? Calmly takes the ball and just slows the game right down. Launches it as high and as far as he can. Abdul Razak there. The little flick on that occasion from Taufik. Harris, a total miscue from him, uncharacteristically. Yasser Hanapi with a ball forwards. Van Hoosen, this is almost like panic football at the moment from both teams. Anywhere will do. As people are putting their foot through the ball, they just need a little bit of composure. That's exactly what comes from Lestian, and it's a good run from Abdul Razak into the channel. Song is in the middle and he's unmarked, but Abdul Razak just takes his time and slows it down.
Oh, that's brilliant from Abdul Razak. He'll be tempted to play the ball across for Song, but he didn't. Kept a cool head.
Kostak plays that one forwards. Nakamura tracking back in there, gets there first. Rupiresh doing well just to get on that ball. Lestian's in an offside position. And he just throws the ball straight back to Yamashita, who gets on with things quickly. Nakamura, we are 7.5 minutes of the 5 added on, but don't forget there should be another 5 minutes added on, because we had that decision for VAR and the red card. That's a foul. He's got a big tug of the shirt there. That's silly defending from Van Hoosen. Grabbed hold of the shirt and tucked his man to the ground and just put his side right under pressure here, Sass.
It's just composure, isn't it? Or the lack of. That's so bad. Look at that. It's a tug. Van Hoosen, in a situation like that, he was facing the touchline.
Last chance saloon, is it? That's the rallying cry here from BG Tampines Rovers. All it needs is a quality ball in here from Yasser Hanapi and someone to get on the end of this, and we'll have extra time. The Sailors backs to the wall right at the end of the game here. It's all going to be about the delivery.
Yeah, the delivery, and somebody to attack this one.
Yasser delivers. It's not bad. It's flicked over the top, and again it's Rupiresh who gets there, who flicks it away to safety. Everybody back defending now for the Sailors. It is quite literally all hands on deck.
Well, it's the best defense in the league tested right now. They've gone through the whole season. Defensively, they are so strong.
Only 32 goals conceded in the league campaign. It's fired to the back post. Flicked away. Was the contact? No, said the referee. The white shirts pouring forward. Harris, what a ball that is from Harris Harun, who finds Maxime Lestien. Song burst in a gut to get in the middle, but Lestien says, nah, I'm going to slow this right down. That's exactly what he does. Abdul Razak, a little 1-2, and plays with Abdul Razak in the corner. That's the experience and that's the quality. Song might not be happy because he sprinted 70 yards there to get into the box. As the ball goes back to the goalkeeper now. Tarfan took that extra touch. There is the final whistle. It's back-to-back Singapore Cups for the Lion City Sailors. It's a domestic double for them as well. The league and the Singapore Cup. Over the 90 minutes, you have to say deserved.
Yeah.
A good spirited performance from Tampines in the second half, though. They actually came to the party and had a go, but it was too little too late, as the domination of the Lion City Sailors means they win their second in a row Singapore Cup final.
Yeah, what a game, especially in the second half. You know, I think the goal made it happen. They had to come out and play BG Tampines, which they did. They responded very well. But at the end of the day, you got to say, the Lion City Sailors, they totally deserve this one. Sia Konori there, with that effort which hit the bar.
That was the one, wasn't it, Sas?
Absolutely, and very frustrating evening for Kevin and BG Tampines.
Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. There's the man of the moment, Bart Ramsalar. He was the man that scored the goal that separated these two sides. But on the balance of play and overall, you still have to say it was thoroughly deserved.
Yeah.
Yasser Hanapi, his last ever game. He's disappointed, but he's gone to console Nakamura, who we have to give a little bit of credit to BG Tampines for that second half. The way that they came out, Sassy, and they did have a go. And with that chance that they had, you did say it could have been 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you could have gone either way. You know, with the goal there, if Sia Konori had scored their best play on the pitch, then things would have been different. But it's not to be. It is Lion City Sailors night.
It's the Sailors that will lift the Singapore Cup. It's finished here at the Jalan Besar Stadium with BG Tampines Rovers 0, the Lion City Sailors 1. It's not only a Singapore Cup, it's a double for the Sailors.
So we're just looking at scenes here after that Singapore Cup final. Lion City Sailors on the pitch. Some of the players going over to console those BG Tampines Rovers players. You're looking there at Sia Konori and Kyoga Nakamura, Roshan. There's always that chance towards the end of a match. Sia Konori with a glorious opportunity, but it shouldn't have to necessarily come down to that one last chance at the end, should it?
No, he'll feel responsible for this, Konori, because he expects to be that match winner, that game-changing player for BG Tampines, but he's been fantastic for them all season. And when you think about the whole game, that was perhaps the best chance for them, I think that says a lot about their effort this evening. I don't think overall as a team they were good enough. And he's going to carry a lot of that disappointment, a lot of that responsibility, because as I said, he sees himself as the star man, and quite rightly so. And also some talk about potentially what his future is away from BG Tampines. So again, it's something that'll be painful for him, because I think if he is going to leave, it's something, the Singapore Cup is something he would have wanted to leave BG Tampines with.
Let's have a look at the story of this match, which won't quite call it a game of two halves, but certainly it was Lion City Sailors who completely dominated that first half, wasn't it? Yeah,
they were really good in that first half. I thought they created lots of chances and opportunities. BG Tampines were far too passive. You know, they were sitting back. Touched on the tactical aspect of it, with the Sailors playing around them and then finding spaces in the central areas through that route. And you know, they sat back, but the Sailors were still able to create chances. And so it was just not quite good enough a performance from BG Tampines in this final.
This one was about 10 minutes before half-time. We've seen Lestienne do this many occasions, but not quite wrapping his foot around the ball.
Yeah, again, I mean, he loves to get it onto his left foot, tries to whip it in towards that far post, and we showed just 2 chances there, but he had several of them in the first half.
We go into the second half here, and this was the goal, Roshan. It came off a bit of a mistake in the build-up.
Yeah, a mistake from Zlatkovic, turned into a huge error there. Credit to Hamid Shaheen, once again, for closing in on Milos Zlatkovic and winning that ball cleanly, winning possession cleanly for his side. And then you leave Lestienne in a one-on-one in the opposition penalty area. He's going to do some damage, as he did there.
We had a far better BG Tampines Rovers performance in the second half. They got this, put this on the back of the goal, but it was ruled out offside. But talk to us a little bit. What do you think they kind of changed in the second half? I
just thought they were a little bit more aggressive. They pushed the team, the starting defensive line was a little bit higher. They were pressing higher. You know, they weren't sitting back as much. But still, it wasn't enough even then in the second half. I don't think they really created much of note in the second 45 to cause problems for the Lion City Sailors, who could have extended their lead.
Yeah, this was Shawalama, a bit of a scuffed shot, and then the follow-up was blasted over by Song. But this was one of the rare opportunities that they had in the second half, and you'd have thought Shawal, with the season he's had, would have at least done a bit more.
You have to credit Fox there for, you know, initially he was on the wrong side of his attacker and looked to be in a bit of trouble, but credit to him for not giving up, for keeping pace with Shawal and at least putting a challenge in.
There's a bit of skill there from Shahiran. The shot there, looked a bit of a Hollywood save from Shazwan, rather from
Zafan.
Zafan,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have much to do, Zafan, in this match, and so I think he got a little bit excited at the opportunity to make a save there. This is, again, him in a very nice position. Sia Kunori are going to go towards the far post, but Zafan read it well and made a good save, clean catch in that situation.
That was a free kick from Kunori, and this is the chance that we are talking about here, Roshan, just a couple of minutes before the 90.
Yeah, a bit of a flap at the cross that's come in from Zafan here, sets up the opportunity for Kunori, and this was the moment. And normally he's so reliable, and it's one of those cliches, isn't it? If it can fall to anyone, you want it falling to a player like him.
Absolutely.
And you know, that's why he reacted the way he did at the end of the match. Speaking of reactions, this was a lot of frustration from Shah Shahiran. There were a couple of punches thrown, then there was a headbutt there, and then after what happened, there was another headbutt on someone else, and the referee initially gave him just the yellow card, but the red is absolutely the right call.
I suppose he will say, oh, that came right towards the end of the match, but you never know with the full complement. Anyway, we're looking at the stats here. Remember, there was nothing at half-time, so you just see the uptick in performance, but too little too late?
Too little too late, and again, I don't think there was much in the way of high-quality opportunities. Yes, there was that effort that Kunori had. That was their biggest chance, you would say, throughout this match. And so I think when they actually look back at this fixture, they will also see that they weren't really themselves. You know, I don't think they were in this game in the first half. The Lion City Sailors were relatively comfortable throughout. And, you know, I think they come away as deserved winners. And you can see how much it means to this side. They've done the double for the first time in the club's history.
Right.
You know, back-to-back Singapore Cups, but yes, the first time they've done league and cup double. So ending the campaign with 2 titles. Some of their fans might say with 3 with the Community Shield, but there are also some other fans who will say that they don't regard the Community Shield as a major trophy. So the double, domestic double, it's a big season in the history of the club, because we've seen this at times when there's sort of investment coming in. I'm talking about Southeast Asia. It can take some time for the club to sort of grow and to sort of find themselves. We saw them in 2021. They won the league. They weren't able to push on. And perhaps this campaign is actually going to now give them that platform to start to build a little bit of like establish themselves as real giants here in terms of the success that will follow.
Alexander Rankovic had said they really wanted to get this to make a point, that they wanted to be regarded as one of the best sides out there. I mean, we have seen other sides do the double. This is not unprecedented.
No, it isn't unprecedented, but it's a big moment for them as a club. You know, they're only 5 years old. And so for them to, you know, in this short time, in this short history, to put themselves in this position, I think says a lot about the work that's going on there. And this is just the senior side. This is just, sort of the fruits of the labor. But there's so much work going on behind the scenes as well, in terms of the academy system, the structure that they have in place. So it's a club that's really well run, very well built, and this is the reward that they're getting at senior level.
Are we seeing now the start, shall we say, of an era? I mean, many people thought we would have that before, but they've now got the double, they've got that squared away. Is this the start of an era for Singapore football? On
the surface of it, from what we've seen, yes, you'd have to say yes, unless some sort of investment comes in elsewhere with some of these other clubs. Otherwise, it's difficult to see beyond the Lion City Sailors, because I would feel that they'd be hungry for more. It's not a case of them saying, job done.
We've done it, exactly.
We've done it, and we're just going to try and lower the investment that we put in. I actually think they want to not just be the best side in Singapore. I think they want to be the best side in Southeast Asia, the best side in Asia, or regarded as one of the better clubs on the continent. So they will also have that in mind. Having had that taste of AFC Champions League 2 and going into the final and knowing that they can compete with these big teams, I mean, that's going to give them a lift as well, isn't it? And they're going to go out there, they're going to invest again into this squad, try and make it stronger. And that's a scary thought, because you look at the SPL and you think of the clubs around them, what's going to happen with BG Tampines, who are their closest challengers this season, with all the changes. Will they be okay? Will they get the right sort of formula to challenge again next season? What about Geylang? Can they take the next step and actually, really try and push on here as well? So, I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens in the transfer window and how these clubs actually look like ahead of next season. But for now, the glory belongs to the Lion City Sailors.
We're just seeing pictures here of the officials getting their tokens of appreciation for their work today. A quick word on how it was for them.
I think they did well. I don't think there were any real issues. I mean, when there was something that wasn't spotted, the VAR came into it very nicely, pretty quickly, and they've done a good job. I mean, that's essentially, you got Taki in the middle, who's, to me, the best referee Singapore football has, and has had for a while now. And then you're seeing him getting help from Jensen Fu, who was the VAR this evening. So a good team here of officials for the final. Lots of experience in there. And, deserved a little bit of a reward at the end.
This is that moment as the players await their turn to come on the stage. It will be BG Tampines Rovers now coming up to collect their winners' medals. You briefly touched on this club, Roshan. We await this big news that apparently is going to be coming out regarding next season. Again, we touched on it earlier before the match. This bridesmaid side, this nearly men. This could be something they might have to get very used to.
Yeah,
but you said maybe someone else comes in, the benefactor.
Yeah, maybe there's a bit of a rejuvenation in terms of the investment. We'll have to wait and see what the plans are with the BG. We know they signed that deal. We'll see what happens there. There have been hints from social media about things like an end of an era, expecting some changes to happen, the last dance and things like that. Terms like that have been thrown about. So, I mean, again, what happens to them next season? I have a lot of respect for what they've done at the club over the last few years, because, as I said before this match, this is a club that has had to do things very differently. They don't have the finances that the Sailors have. Probably a fraction of the budget of the Lion City Sailors. So their strategy has had to be very different. But within that strategy, they found success. To me, I know it won't seem like it, picking up a silver here and picking up a silver in the league. But to me, that's success for them, because...
Relatively speaking.
And at the end of the day, they are Singapore's next best club.
Yeah.
Right? So
yes, correct.
I don't think there's really any shame in finishing second to the Lion City Sailors. Of course, you want to lift the trophy. Of course, you want to win gold. But you have to understand what you're up against as well. And to me, I have a lot of respect for what they've done, the way they've gone about it, the sort of football that they've played has been entertaining. They just didn't quite show up this evening. And that's the disappointing aspect of it. But overall, I'd be pretty pleased as if I were a BG Tampines Rovers
looking
fan.
back at the season.
As a neutral, I'm pleased with what they've done. this campaign. And I think
Oh,
Gavin
look at
deserves.
that.
That's a very
Wow,
nice touch.
wow.
I think Gavin deserves a lot of credit here. It's a very emotional moment. We know what has happened with the chairman Desmond Ong in his personal life as well, having recently lost his father. So you can see, obviously, it would have been sweet for him,
of course,
and on a personal level, on an emotional level, to be able to lift the Singapore Cup at least. So again, what happens there at the club is going to be fascinating to watch over the next few months.
That was touching, Roshan. That was
It really was
a lovely moment. You're
yeah,
right.
and I mean, he's given Gavin Lee the opportunity, and I know they've got a very good relationship. They're very close,
Yeah.
and the way, again, I reiterate, the way things have been done there have been really, really impressive, and it's an example to other Singapore clubs who don't have the finances that the Sailors have, that there are ways to go about it if you've got a clear identity, a clear structure, a clear idea of what you want to do with it, and you can push, you can challenge. So hopefully we see more of them next campaign.
There we go. Song Wei-ong is going to lead Lion City Sailors up to the podium. The sky's the limit now, isn't it, for this club?
You think so? You would absolutely think so. One of the things they probably have to think about is the next generation of local players coming through. The likes of Razak.
Yes.
Hami's played a huge role, but where are the local younger players who are going to step up then, become that next generation to take over from the likes of Izwan, take over from
oh, wow, look at
players
that.
players like Haris, Shawal as well. In those positions. So that's something that they're going to have to think about in terms of the structure of the squad with the local players going forward.
You're right there, because the very established Singapore players, Singapore internationals in the squad are aging. There's no doubt about it. You see Abdul Razak there. Whether he stays on at the club, gets more playing time, Roshan. That's the other thing, isn't it? These guys aren't getting that many minutes.
Yeah, some of them aren't. Some of them have had to make do. Good to see Zulkarnain Suzliman there as well. Getting his medal. He's come back from an injury. He's a very exciting young player. So I hope he gets a run of minutes next season. And I mean, this is a club that, again, deserves the success because they've worked hard for it. They've invested into it, and they're finally sort of reaping those rewards. Akram there in your picture as well.
One who's just come through, right?
Yeah.
In January.
What a story for him, going from Tanjung Pagar United bottom of the table and then ending the season with a double.
Quick word on the coaching staff. Roshan is coming up now to get their medals, because it is such a professional setup. It's more than the 2 or 3 or 4 that most other clubs would have.
Yeah, I mean, a good thing that they've got all the medals there prepared. They've got enough for everyone.
Well, we've seen recently that hasn't been the case,
Elsewhere in other parts of the world, where certain members of staff haven't gotten a medal. So, and we know there's so many, as you mentioned. It's a big backroom staff. It's a very professional setup. This is, when you think of professional football, they are living it in Singapore. This is what it should be like.
This is the blueprint, isn't it?
This is the blueprint. This is what it should be. Training center. Players can go and receive rehabilitation, treatment, whatever they need, all that specialty, different disciplines in terms of the coaches, in terms of the staff. This is what is called being a true professional footballing side.
Absolutely.
And that's as you said, that's the blueprint for the league, for all these other teams looking forward. I know there are limits, I know there are certain challenges, and investment needs to come in from elsewhere as well to try and shake things up.
There you go, Alexander Rankovic. He's come in. They had a bit of tumultuous time with coaches in the past. He's been really the most stable period, hasn't it, under his tutelage.
Congratulations to him for bringing the league and cup. It'll be massive for him, because this is his first, well, not the first time he's had a head coaching job, but his first titles as a head coach.
Correct.
And the longest time he spent at the club as a head coach. So these will be very special moments for Alexander Rankovic.
We are seeing now Marcus Tan, the Chief of Sport Development Group, Sport SG, hand the trophy over to Haris Harun, the captain of the club. As we await the moment here, he lifts their second trophy of the season. Lion City Sailors, champions of the Singapore Cup 2024-25 season. A wonderful, wonderful year it's been for them, capped off by yet another trophy. The celebrations will start, but knowing Lion City Sailors, they will have their plans ready or geared up for next season. They're thinking ahead, this club. They got big fish to fry. But for now, they're enjoying another special moment. And these fans, what a great bunch of fans they are as well.
Fantastic group of fans, and credit to the BG Tampines Rovers fans as well. Wonderful atmosphere here at Jalan Besar this evening. Really, really wonderful stuff in the stands. And I hope they've enjoyed themselves. I mean, I know the Lion City Sailors fans certainly will have enjoyed themselves. And yeah, they've been great supporting this side all throughout their respective campaigns in the different tournaments that they've taken part in.
Nice to see them get everyone involved, all the youngsters.
Nathan Mao there as well.
Yeah. Absolutely lovely. This club has set their stall out. They are aiming high, aiming big. And a double, could it be the first of many to come in Singapore football? Quick thoughts on these 400 days or so we've had of football in Singapore.
Oh my goodness, what a journey.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I remember the Community Shield. That was the first match that I was on this season, and to come all the way through to the last fixture as well. It has been an incredible journey, a wonderful campaign, so many beautiful storylines, and I think quite rightly they've been the best side, Lion City Sailors, and they deserve to lift the trophies that they've lifted. Yeah, I mean, it's a transitional season.
Right.
Very much looking forward to the next one. A bit of a strange campaign. This has been a big test for all the players, for all the coaches. I want to thank everyone on the broadcasting crew, whether they're working tonight or throughout the campaign, for doing an incredible job throughout this season in all the competitions that we've covered. So I really appreciate the work that they've all done.
Absolutely. And also thanks to all of you for tuning in to what has been a remarkable, a record-breaking, a defining year or so. Last thought from you, Roshan. What has been the highlight for you?
I think there's been a renewed interest in the league, and you quite rightly say thank you to all the people who have tuned in, who have supported the league, who have supported the Singapore Cup, who have supported the Singaporean sides, who have gone out to the stadiums and have tuned into the broadcasts, and who just want to see Singapore football grow. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for all of that, and let's go again next season. Let's go again next season, man. See you at the grounds, see you at all the stadiums, support the sides at the venues if you can. It will be great to see, and if you can't, I'm sure someone will have you covered on the broadcast.
We will have you covered. Remember, next season, now from a rather strange date, August. We're going to start August 2025, a new calendar, a new era of Singapore football. It's been a real pleasure from Roshan, myself, and all of our team here to bring you this past year's action. Thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of months.